Hello, everybody. It is me, Demetra K, and I'm sitting here with Donovan Sadiq, the recovering Democrat. And I hope all is well. So it's Friday, so it means it's Free Flow Friday, where we start off with a topic and we get into a whole host of everything else you can think of, because there's so much stuff that goes on between Friday and Friday. Last time you seen us on Free Flow Friday. So anyway, we thank y'all for being here. And we want to say a big giant thank you to YouTube and Facebook for being the other side of the conversation. You guys make this so much more fun. And if you could do us a favor, I know it's kind of early, so we'll ask you again, if you could share this so that everybody else can get the information and join in on the conversation, we would most definitely appreciate it. And I also like to say thank you to Marcus for everything he does behind the scenes and making the show go just a little bit further. So, as you guys can see here, we're going to be talking about Joe, Kamala, and Tim say what? So we'll get into that in just a second. But Donovan, what's going on with you?
Well, as you guys can see, I'm sitting here on my couch because I am so exhausted and I am so tired. And by the way, Wonder Pup is right over there. So there's Wonder Pup. I am so exhausted and I'm so tired of ringing the alarm that I just said, you know what? The hypocrisy that goes on in our community, the Black community, is unbelievable. You might not like what we say, we might not agree on everything, but one thing we can't agree on is the fact that Joe, Kamala, and Tim, they're all on code. So this is going to be a great conversation today. We got our Chucks and Pearls folks and everybody like this, and we're going to disprove everything you will say about these people, because the videos are out there, the sound bites are out there. Kamala, this woman talks out of both sides of her neck. It's unbelievable. And for you guys that don't know, that was Thailand. So it's going to be an interesting show, like I said, but welcome to Free Flow Fridays. We really like to have you here. When Donovan has to sit on his couch and I don't want to do all the blue screen stuff, I am tired.
Donovan said he's sick of it. So anyway, and we also, this is one of the only shows that we read every last comment, question, or concern, because we feel like you should be heard as well. And so Juba, how you doing? He says, hi, already in the show. Yeah. And Afro Diaspora Network. What's up? Says my people. Wilbur, what's going on with you? Hey, Terry, how you doing? So anyway, we're going to get right into it. As you guys know, my phone is thinking I'm talking to it, Siri. That's why I hate all this being plugged into all this technology. So anyway, you guys might have watched the State of the Union that took place. Hello, Robin. Took place the other day. I think it was Wednesday or so. Joe Biden gave his first State of the Union address, where historically there was a Speaker of the House and the Vice President that were female, Kamala and Nancy Pelosi, blah, 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 right? So usually after the State of the Union address, the opposite party, so Joe Biden being a Democrat, the Republicans gave their answer, if you will, to the State of the Union. And within that answer, there was a lot of things being said, specifically Tim Scott, a senator of South Carolina. He's like one of him, I think, and Cory Booker are the only two Black senators in, the Senate. So he said a whole bunch of stuff about how his family went from cotton to Congress. And along with that, he said that America is not racist. And Joe Biden and Kamala were asked to respond to that. And so I want to show you guys what Kamala said. And it's about a minute or so. So you guys check this out.
One of the greatest threats to our national security is domestic terrorism manifested by white supremacists. And so these are issues that we must confront. And it does not help to heal our country, to unify us as a people, to ignore the realities of that. I don't think America is a racist country, but we also do have to speak truth about the history of racism in our country and its existence today.
People are making money and gaining power by pretending we haven't made any progress at all, by doubling down on the divisions we've worked so hard to heal. You know this stuff is wrong. Hear me clearly. America is not a racist country. It's backwards to fight discrimination with different types of discrimination. And it's wrong to try to use our painful past to dishonestly shut down debates in the present.
Let's confront the realities and let's deal with it, knowing we all have so much more in common than what separates us. And the idea is that we want to unify the country, but not without speaking truth and requiring accountability as appropriate.
So as you saw there, that was Vice President Kamala Harris saying that she doesn't think America is racist, although the truth about America, there is some racism. So it's like, okay, trying to make sense of that. And then Joe Biden said, I don't think America is racist. And of course, he was responding to Tim Scott. He says, but I think the overhang from all of the Jim Crow and before that, slavery had a cost and we have to deal with it. So Joe Biden, we're not surprised that Joe Biden says that he doesn't think America is racist. Not terribly surprised that Tim Scott said it because he's a Republican. He is the Republicans' boy. They sent him out there to do their bidding, to give this, it was a Candace Owens speech. That's why I said he's the Candace Owens of the Republican Senate. They sent him out there to tell, a black man that America's not racist. Even though my family came from cotton to Congress, I don't believe it's racist and, all this other stuff. And then he lamented about how people call him an Uncle Tom and a sellout. I'm like, he didn't say the C word, but they call him that too. And then, of course, Kamala backs him up and saying that is not racist. But I want to know, if America is not racist, then why do the Asians get a bill that says anti-racist? That a bill is, they need a bill for anti-racism, right? Why do they need a bill? Donovan, take this. Let me get this phone call really quick.
I got it. Yes. But isn't that the contradiction of what these politicians do? Now, it is no surprise to me that Uncle Tim will say what he's saying, because remember, his rise to power was based on white folks. So he's not going to say anything to upset his white folks. Now, flip it. Kamala Harris, she sees where her butter is, her biscuits are buttered as well. That's white folks. Do you think she's, as a vice president, she's going to come out and say that there's racism and all this other stuff, even though she did it in the primary to get your vote? 8 months ago, she said that, yes, there's a race problem that we have to address. It's on video. I mean, it's incredible. I put it up on my page if you guys want to see it. So like a politician, these people are showing you, they don't, what's that one lady? She's on YouTube, and you said she sounds like a friend of yours, and she's back in Pennsylvania. But I'll get her name later. But this lady said that, and she said it so eloquently. We don't have any friends in Congress. The CBC, Kamala Harris, we don't have any friends, black folks. We are out here by ourselves. And if we don't wake up, we won't have a chance. We won't have a chance. Lisa Cabrera, that was her name. Lady Lisa Cabrera with the funny laugh. She hit it right on the nail, because new black media, we're showing you these things. Now, notice, for you intelligent people that come on the show, and please like, share, and subscribe, because we got to get the message out there, regardless if people want to hear it or not, because some people are waking up. It just takes them a little bit longer to do so. But, the one thing that we will have to realize is this. These people are out for themselves. And if we can just get 1, 2, 3, it's all worth it, but it does get tiring. But back to what you were saying, Demetra.
Sorry about that. That was my daughter. So, to me, we know why they're not, they being Kamala and Tim, they're not saying that America is racist because they have higher aspirations, right? And, you know, they both tap dance for the man. Kamala eventually wants to be president. I'm sure Tim wants to go on and do other things besides being, you know, a senator in the Senate or whatever the case is. And so they're not going to piss off white America, okay? Even though we know that America is founded and rooted in racism from what they've done to us as Black people, what they've done to the Indians, what they did to, you know, Hispanics. It's just racist. I mean, it just is. And I don't understand why people have a hard time calling it what it is, right? But my bigger issue is this, you guys, and I know not y'all, because y'all, I know none of y'all voted for Kamala. I hope you didn't anyway. But if you did, that's fine. But the problem I have is the silence on behalf of the people who were so, you know, elated to vote for Joe and Kamala. They're like, I haven't seen those people. Like, have they disappeared? Did they get sucked up by a spaceship? What happened to their biggest supporters that even went as far as to cut off family members, friends, block and deleted people? And this is their queen, if you will, Mrs. Chunks and Pearls, who sat up on national TV and agreed with another Negro by that of Tim and said, America's not racist. And it's like, are you kidding? Not too long ago, she sat up and accused Joe Biden of being racist when she had to be bused for school. So all of a sudden now, ooh, racism just gone away. And I mean, I brought up Joe Biden because Joe Biden has been in, you know, politics in Washington for nearly 50 years. And he is interwoven into the fabric of America. Like, nobody is more American than Joe Biden. And Joe Biden has written a lot of racist policies that even to this very second has affected Black people. So for them to get up there and say that America is not racist, and then, you know, Tim Scott, he's a Republican. He watched, you know, most of his fellow homies storm the Capitol under that of Donald Trump. Now, I know Tim Scott tried to denounce Donald Trump for the most part, but I'm not surprised that those people ran up into the Capitol. And I'm not really even surprised that most of them are getting away with it. The dude that had his feet on Nancy Pelosi's desk, he's getting out if he ain't already. So what's more racist than watching people go and tear up the Capitol and then say, they were just upset. It's okay.
Yeah. Again, show me in the history books, even the white history books, where a failed coup is attempted and doesn't work out and the people got a trial. They're all shot. Anybody that's even associated with it is shot, lined up and shot. That's it. Oh, you know, so-and-so dead. Did they just shoot him? Because it's like leaving a cancer or a bad apple in the bunch, because, you know, if I leave you there, then you're going to come back because I just killed your. Only in America and white supremacy can you try to overthrow your own government that they keep telling Black people, let the system work out. Y'all be patient. They weren't patient. They're like, well, you going to do this right here, right now, or else. Only in America can a white person storm the Capitol and get bail. Any other country, you would have been shot. In the military, you would be shot immediately. No trial, no questions asked. Done. You're a bad apple. You got to go.
And not to mention, they was going up there to kill people. Mike Pence, Nancy, they was about to go up there and kill people. So anyway, go ahead, Donovan.
Yeah, and last, you know, killing people. Remember, Joe Gladstone. How'd they know where my office was? Right? But here he is now. Here he is now, silent. He's from South Carolina too. Mr. Clyburn saying anything? Is the CBC saying anything and rebuking Kamala Harris for what she's saying? Even Tim Scott, even though he's not a member of the CBC, Kamala Harris was a member of the CBC. Has Cory Booker said anything? We have no friends, Black folks, until you guys realize that and stop voting for these people and just vote, not Republican, just vote something different or don't vote at all. We're going to be in an endless cycle of just tragedy, basically.
Yep. So, all right, I'm going to get to you guys' comments so we don't get too far behind. And Jerome, how are you? And Let's see here. You say, I saw a video of Kamala saying America has to help India with COVID-19. Watch a video on the Hill. Well, you know, those are her peeps.
As a matter of fact, Joe Biden has instituted a travel ban from India. It starts May 4th, but he has immediately initiated help to India to get them oxygen tanks and money. And he's initiated that immediately. Notice he didn't do that for Africa. He ain't doing that for Africa. Africa's been shut down. But I want you guys to remember this, and this is important before we get to these comments. You don't expect me to specifically do anything for Black people? No, I'm not going to do that. But she did specifically for Asians. She did specifically for Indians. They did. And remember Joe Biden? Well, if we're going to do a bill for Black people, make sure it has some Native American stuff in there. Remember he said that, right? That's the reason why he didn't want the bill specifically for Black people, right? $30 billion was snuck to the native tribes in the United States a couple of weeks ago. I wonder, why did that happen?
Because they know most Negroes, especially the ones that voted for him, don't care. They just wanted to get Trump out, and so they know they don't care, right? And DG Blue 22, how you doing? You say Sleepy Ted, and Arson, how you doing? He says, hey guys, hope you had a great week and are doing good. I'm at work, but I'll try to listen here and there. Well, we appreciate you, whatever you can do. Johans, how you doing? He says,
yeah, just put in that Bluetooth, Arson. Just put in the Bluetooth. They won't even know. Put in the Bluetooth.
Right. And Johan, she said, his mama out there picking cotton and he had the stones, the mud, that trash. Yes, he did. So Bell's got a good life. Talk about some cotton to Congress. I was like, if you say that one more time, I'm going to be violently ill. Okay. That's like, really? And you up here talking about America ain't racist. Why you think your mama had to pick cotton? Or
wait a minute. Yeah, wait a minute. And has anybody noticed Tim Scott is not married?
He's not?
Now, no, he's not married. Now, you know, if he's LGBTQ, whatever, that's fine, his thing. But notice when Black people that are Black, that are LGBTQ, notice they don't want to be Black anymore. They want to be identified as LGBT, a different group, a minority group. So they want to be above Black people. You see what I'm saying? So they identify with another group. If Tim Scott is of that group, to me, when he was saying that, that's exactly what I was thinking about. He's trying to elevate himself away from, I'm not Black, I'm LGBTQ or something. I don't know if he's gay or not. I don't know. But I'm just saying it's very unusual for a man his age not to have a girlfriend or, you know, whatever, you know, so think about that.
I personally think he looks like a gopher. So I don't know, maybe he's a gopher. They don't have, I don't know. He's just a weird character to me. And voice of reason for my people. What's happening? It says at Demetra K and family, what's happening? And you also say she's delusional, very delusional. I mean, but she gonna say what she gotta say. You know, she don't care about Black people past getting the votes. That's it. And Robin, you say strange part is that police officers have stopped him and his military brother several times for driving nice cars. His brother had to trade his car in so that he wouldn't get stopped as much. Now, ain't that, but America ain't racist. If the police ain't racist and the police are as American as apple pie, you tell me that America ain't racist. I can't even drive the car I want to drive because they keep pulling me over. Now, what a just, oh.
I mean, what world are these people living in? I mean, just tell the truth. You know, was not a man murdered on national TV just last year? Did we not just convict the murderer? I mean, all this stuff is going on. Was there not a hate crime charged against the murderers of Ahmaud Arbery just this week? How can you even fix your mouth to say this stuff?
Tap dancing for white supremacy.
Wait, no. Wait, I'm still wearing my chucks and pearls, girl. We out here. Girl. Yeah.
I'm gonna tell y'all right now. If I'm out in public and I see somebody wearing some chucks and pearls, I might catch a case from snatching them off their neck or something. And Aiden, how you doing? He says, as someone who is not married to the devil, okay. And Donovan says Joe Biden doesn't think U.S. is racist because he wrote most of the bills to incarcerate Black people. Right, of course. Are you kidding me? And Sunlight, how you doing? He says, hello, Demetra and Donovan. Hello to you. And DG Blue 22, he says, I hate being woke because I see everything, even in commercials. You know what? You and me both. People are miserable sometimes watching TV with me or a movie because I point stuff out and like, can't you just watch the movie? I said, you know what? I really wish I could. I just can't unsee certain stuff.
Right.
My mom used to be so upset with me for doing that.
Yeah, well, it's like me when I go to the grocery store or bookstore, especially a bookstore. I always point out to my nieces or nephews, look at how they stage the books. Look what they say is beauty. You know what I mean? It's just right there. So we're with you right there, because I mean, when you're woke and you see it, you just see it.
Yeah, you can't unsee it. And Tanaya, how you doing? It says, good afternoon, Demetra and Donovan. I want to take the palm of my hand and push her into a wall for that comment. Yeah, this. But you know what, Tanaya? There's a lot of people defending her. Well, you didn't hear the rest of the. That's why I played the whole thing. You didn't hear what she said. And, I'm like, oh, that you guys sound like. Well, we need to see what happened before the tape. That's what y'all sound like.
Well, but the thing is, even when you hear it, she contradicts herself from the beginning to the next statement. It doesn't. That critical thinking. I talk about it all the time. Demetra talks about it all the time. Critical thinking. From the time that she said it isn't racist, then she says to the racism that we currently deal with. That's a contradiction in itself.
I think she realized she stepped in and was trying to clean it up. And Aiden says, because they are not children of the living God. And you also say confusion of the devil. And Johan says the mass unquote dancer. And Afro Diaspora News Network, you say Kamala or Tim will never be president because the black vote decides who gets that seat. If they can't get black support, they are done. Oh, Kamala will get it. She'll get it because, they want to be able to wear their chucks and pearls again. So she'll get it. And Tina, how you doing? It says, Mr. Mitra, you just named the Israelites. I did. I'm a little slow sometimes, so you guys forgive me. Annette, how you doing? And you're responding to DG Blue 22. Says, I understand completely where you're coming from. And Donovan says, Kamala was not chosen by black people. She was chosen by the Democratic Party. She dropped out of the primaries due to black media. Yeah, we pulled people's coattails of her. And Aiden says, they're asleep. Yes, indeed. And hey, Todd, how you doing? He says, peace, Demetra and Brother Donovan. By the way, I love the hairstyle, Demetra. Thank you. He says, just wanted to say that I'm a fly on the wall today, just enjoying the show today. Peace. Well, thank you so much. And I saw you out there, brother, with those, I almost said Muhammad Speak. That's what they used to be called. The Final Call newspapers at DMX's memorial service, handing out papers. So big ups to you. People need that information. So good job. And Robert says, they're quiet now. Can't get them to say a word. Nah, I mean, I'm like, where did they go? They're like in the closet somewhere. It's weird, actually. And then it says, enough love, Demetra and Donovan. Good afternoon, melanated family, Black first. Absolutely. And Aiden says, they're tucked away. I mean, but what like, where they at, though? Like,
right.
Come on.
Roly-poly Martin is trying to backtrack a little bit and be like, well, I'm with the black media. I mean, even he's speechless to what he said was, going to happen if we elect these people. He's just like, I had no idea, they were going to do this.
Nah, he needs to cut it and shut it, okay? Because he was talking bad about black people, in the black media, and I mean, he was horrible. This horrible to people who are simply trying to wake everybody up and say, hey, our votes should no longer be taken for granted. And he called us everything but a child of God. And here, like, they not even in good to their first year. And they're showing us who we already knew they were. But everybody else who was, go, Joe, go, Kamala, go. Now they're like,
get Trump out of there.
But now we can't even find them. They're just, it's odd. I think they're been body
Sanders. Mammy Sanders, quiet. Jean Pierre, whatever her name's, quiet. I mean, all of these people that were on the front lines, you can't find these people anymore.
No, they did their job. Get them in there. And let's see here. And Robin says they must have went back into hibernation. They'll be back in 2024. I totally agree with you. I totally agree. Trying to sell us the same old nonsense. Well, we got to make sure no Republicans get in there because, it's like, oh my God, I can already hear it.
Yeah, no, I think the blueprint's going to be this. Well, you don't want Trump coming back, so we got to reelect so-and-so, or we got to get Kamala in there, because if we don't, Trump said he's coming back, and they're going to use that as the playbook to do it, which is kind of ridiculous because, again, two wings of the same bird. It doesn't matter. White supremacy has one thing in common: Republican, Democrat. White supremacy. Who leads both parties? Ain't a black person, ain't an Asian person, ain't a Hispanic person. It's a white person. And until we realize that, they're going to keep playing these games on us. Keep playing these games.
Yep. Hello, Galen. How are you? Says, hey, Demetra. Salute, Captain Donovan. Demetra, you're on point with the Scamala. Scamala, rather. And her America isn't racist comment. She literally said America was racist in her comment. Make it make sense. Yeah, I just think she realized she stepped in it and it's like, oh, boy. I call that, and you guys have heard of it before, a Freudian slip of the tongue, where you speak things that are buried within you and you didn't mean to, right? So they just kind of slip out. I was like, did I say that? Yes, she did, and it's on tape.
Yes, and where are the memes, though? Uncle Tim Scott had memes immediately thrown at him. Where are the Kamala memes? I mean, I've thrown a few of the Kamala memes out there myself, so I got it. The thing is, but at least I'm even-handed about it. I said something about Tim Scott. I said something about Kamala. Oh, it's almost like the Obama effect. Don't say nothing about Obama, Beyonce, and Kamala. Yeah, it's like you can't say nothing about these people, even when, I mean, she said the exact same thing that Tim Scott said, and everybody jumped on Tim Scott, and he's a dirtbag, but crickets when it came to Kamala.
Right. Yeah, it was very telling. And Mr. Few Clothes, how you doing? He says, Kamala's a woman of color, quote unquote, vice president of the United States and has a white hubby. She's not a foundational Black American. And she's not going to sit in that office and say America's a racist country. That contradicts her success. Oh, no. And you know what's funny? Because I was just thinking that before you read, maybe that hasn't been her experience. You know, she's a lighter, skinned woman. And, she's, like you said, married to a white
side
guy.
Chick, started her thing in the Black community, was a side chick and all that other good stuff. She was twerking like Cardi B with a married man and all that. She just started it off, But it's funny how they take our story and they take our struggle to get their start. Where do the people come to set up their businesses when they come to America? In the Black community. Where does she get her start? In the Black community. Where does she get most of her support right now? Black misguided women, period.
Right. And Adrian says, where's BLM buying houses? And Galen, you say, and I hope I'm saying your name right. If I'm not, please correct me. Says January 6th, they committed treason. All those who participated in it are traitors. They deserve a bullet to the, I won't say the rest, but you guys know. Sadly, it will never happen. No, that's exactly what they did. It was treason, and it was just, but people are unfazed by it. But had that been a whole bunch of Negroes running up in there, shit, you'd be talking about, man, you see that mass burial service they had for all of them? It'd have been over. And
I think it would have been worse than that. We're going to round all the Black folks up and put them in a camp, because now we can't trust any of these Negroes, because they something like that. We rise up all over the nation. So they're going to say, you know what? We can't trust these Negroes. Let's round them up.
Yep.
That's what.
Mm-hmm. And DG Blue 22 says, I think there will be an attack on American soil after America showed such weakness. It might. Hey, Abdallah, how you doing? And you say greetings to all from the Gambian, the Gambia. You say in West Africa, and well, greetings to you as well. Donovan is trying to come over there really quick.
Yes. Yeah, I got a question. It's kind of funny. I follow this African guy who does videos here in the United States. He's on Facebook and YouTube. His name is El Haj TV. And in one of the skits, he was like, the girl asked him, oh, you're from Africa? He was like, yeah, I'm from Africa too. And she was like, where are you from? He goes, I'm from South Africa. She was an American. And she was like, okay, what part of Africa? He was like, South Africa, the country. That was the joke, if you know geography. Some countries are called South Africa. Some have names.
Right.
Yeah. West Africa. Yeah.
Yeah. What's happening in China? And Galani said, Scamala just said, we via CNN, we have a responsibility to India. What's ever going on in India is not our problem. Well, those are her people. So she
specifically for Black people? No.
But everybody else, absolutely. Hey, Damon, how you doing? You say Chucks and Pearls. Yeah, have you seen any rolling around? Because I'm curious to know what happened to them. And
wait, where are the HBCUs? Where are those folks? I don't see the HBCUs giving out parades or even chastising a member of their chapters. And where are the AKAs? How come where is the written letter from the president and the chapters of the AKAs condemning what Kamala has said? This is what I talk about when I say HBCUs are great and everything, but they are complicit in our oppression.
Yep. And hello, Mr. Eric P. How are you? And Aiden says they're on cold. Why would you help your enemies? Yeah. And then Brock, how you doing? He says, I know why he's not married. Look at him, laugh out loud. Y'all crazy. Maybe Tim is kind of just, maybe saving himself. They are the party of family values, so maybe he's saving himself for marriage or something. You silly.
Guys ever notice that big black buck that sits behind him every time he's in Congress speaking? Brother Big, you ever see that guy?
And Brock, you want us to know that Oreos are sweet. Yes, they are. And Tania, how you doing? He says, that's right, y'all. Lay into Cammy, goat smelling behind y'all wilding today. Oh my God. Eric says, so I got that already. And Mr. Pirate Brain, how are you today? And Sumo Blackberry, how you doing? You say black first always. And Tina, how you doing? He says, I know I'm in the right room. Hey, family. And Sumo Blackberry says, I hear you, Donovan. And Terry says, to them anti-black here. And then Rashida, how you doing? He says, black first in Chicago. Hello to you. And Donovan says, flight to Ghana from LAX are going for less than $1,000 right now. Who's going with me? My bag, like I said, all I need is a toothbrush and a couple of changes of underwear and my passport, and I'll figure out the rest once I get over there. And let's see. And I did tonight. Thank you. I saw it come across. So thank you so much. I appreciate you. And Terry says, to them, anti-black hatred is deserved and not racism. Okay, God, I see what you're saying. Absolutely. And Johansson says, next year for sure. You going to the motherland? And Eric says, before she was vice president, she saw racism. Now she's vice president. It doesn't exist. Total hypocrite. Right. She was on the stage and called Joe Biden a racist, for lack of better words. For him, I was that girl. I had to be busting. I'm not saying it's racist, but what you did, the same thing she said now, and now that's her best friend. It's like, come on, lady. And Arson says, laugh out loud at Donovan. Yeah, I have my headphones, laugh out loud. Demetra, okay, we went from cotton to Congress. That's what he said. Now about Kamala, if she contradicted herself, you guys have to know that she did it on purpose. Making everything gray is the perfect tactic to keep people calm, yet confused. Says, except for the few such as yourself who see the bug, you meant the big picture. Finally, can we honestly be mad at her? She already said she wouldn't do anything for Black people. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm not mad, but like I said, this is more of an admonishment to the people who was, Kamala can't do nothing wrong. Ooh, hearing the first gentleman. Ooh, this is the part that really chapped my hide. Is how a lot of Black women was caping and swooning over how the gentleman treats his woman, and he's
second gentleman. Yeah, the second gentleman.
Yeah, the second gentleman, how he treats his woman, and they have such a beautiful and perfect relationship. I was like, oh my God, this can't be real life. So y'all act like now y'all ain't never seen a Black man be romantic with his woman, and and now that Kamala's white husband is doing it, y'all just taking it back. I was just like, I'm done. I say I'm done every day. I'm sure I'll say it tomorrow. And Sumo Blackberry says, Donovan looks like how foundational Black Americans all feel. Yeah, he said, I'm on the couch. I can't even do it today.
Yeah, Sue, I'm glad you noticed that, brother, because we were in the studio behind the scenes before we started the show, and I just look. I was here. I just, I am so done with, and I agree with what Arson is saying. I mean, that's a great analogy of how she's trying to muddy the waters and do that, because there's going to be so many people that are going to be like, oh, I don't really understand what's going on, but I support him anyway. And what a great job Nancy's. I mean, we are so immature politically. It's sad. And I mean, I'm on this couch. I'm just like, I'm done. I'm not even going to go to my computer, and I'm just going to sit here with my Wonder Dog, enjoy a little bit of time, with my family, and just say, you know what? Yeah, I'm glad you noticed that, brother.
That's where I was the other day. I was like, I'm done. Yeah, she knew people would come out and defend her. So it was like, I made a mistake. Not really, but they'll come out and defend me. Oh God, y'all tripping. Robin says, Swollen Martin. That is hilarious. Swollen Martin was calling us Simple Simons and telling us to kiss his ass. He was. He was telling us to do all of that new black ass media. They don't know what they talking about and make it kiss. I was like,
I was the head of 6 publications. What he didn't tell you about those 6 publications, he ran them into the ground.
Yeah, I was kind of shocked. Like, why are you talking about us like that? Damn. This butter
and wait, and he's on the platform that we're on now. And we got to kiss his ass.
Right. He on YouTube with the rest of us commoners. And Tania says, Donovan's on fire. Yes, he is. And Terry says, I didn't vote Democrat because I knew what it was. Asians get an anti-racist bill, and we've been dealing with it for centuries. Now we're being charged with hate crimes for any fight we get in. Yeah, and that was designed for us. Look at all the rah-rah everybody went through when they saw, a few Asians getting, attacked, if you will, by some of us, and they just went crazy. But, Trump has been talking greasy about them for a whole year. Now, all of a sudden, they need these bills, but that's for us. And like I said the other day, there's a lady in Houston. She, for whatever reason, she got into it with the Asian owner of the beauty supply, which she shouldn't have been in there anyway, and they charged her with a hate crime. So it's like, that's really designed for us. We're going to catch all those charges. Just watch, most of them. And Robin says, if Trump runs and you say you're voting for him, we're better off. Well, there's a lot of people who feel that way. Look at, just since Joe Biden has been in, all the things that has happened and has not happened for Black people, right? So, I wouldn't vote for Trump, but I get why you say that.
Yeah, and you got to remember, Trump could only run one more time. So basically, if he won, let's say hypothetically, he's a lame duck. He ain't got to do shit for anybody at that point. So you got to really put that into your equation, as in, you have no leverage over him once he gets back in, because he can't run for re-election after that. So,
right. Hey, how you doing? You says, until we realize that we are at war, nothing will change. You're right, Donovan. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that we are, but are we even equipped to even begin fighting a war? This is Black people. Are we? Because I hear people say that all the time. Well, we got a lot of this and we got a lot of that. It's like, but we don't have a lot of unity. So how long is that going to last? Look at the NFAC. I don't know how y'all feel about that with, what's his name? Grandmaster Jay. I want to call him Jam Master Jay, but Grandmaster Jay. He caught a couple of charges, and I get it. He doesn't want to further incriminate himself, but where is all this Black unity people talk about? He's had all those people together ready to stand up, I guess, for Black people, and you not heard anything else from them at all. So, yeah. And Terry, so you correct yourself. And Mr. Fuclo says, why is Africa's coronavirus success being overlooked by Blacks? Yeah, because they said that Africa had the least amount. But then, you guys remember they start to say, oh, well, now there's a South African variant. We got to be careful of that. And it's coming over here. It's like, knock it off. Just cut it, okay? Because that didn't start with Africa. We know where that started. Now they're going to try to, put it on them. So it's like, cut it.
Like I said, AIDS started with Africa, with the Blacks having intercourse with monkeys. Just all the racist tropes you could come up with. And then in India, last year, they were touting the success of how the Indians have successfully, handled the coronavirus. Now look at them. Now look at them.
Because I think they said too that their prime minister or president, whatever they have over there, was like Trump, like, go ahead and move about the country. We don't want to shut the economy down. They are literally burning people just everywhere because I guess that's what they do. I guess.
Well, as in the cities they have control, but see, nobody ever thinks about the outlying villages, and that's where all the thing is really, really kicking ass in those outlying villages and stuff. And unfortunately, India does have a longer life expectancy as far as their older people go. So those older people are being decimated just left and right. If you guys go on YouTube or whatever, not YouTube, but the internet, you can see satellite where the smoke plume from all of the fires in India is actually happening from the cremations.
That is wild. And Sunlight says they'd rather die than admit they made a big mistake. Yep. And how you doing, Mary? And he says Kamala is. And then Paid in Full, how you doing? He says Black first. Yep, always. And then Mary, you say Kamala was Black when campaigning, but I noticed since elected she's Asian. Well, you know what? For those of us who were paying attention, she was that before she started campaigning. California called her the first Asian American woman to be senator of California. So she was already identifying with that, but she realized that she had to get in tune with her Black side. And my thing is, if you really Black, then why do you negate to talk about your Black daddy? I've only heard her publicly, when she was campaigning, mention her dad once. And that's when she said her mom and her dad met while they was protesting. But other than that, she's always identified as an Asian woman.
And that is right there in the DC area, the Black dad, and he wasn't even invited to the inauguration.
Okay. And and her daddy ain't just some old dude up off the street. Her dad's got his PhD. He's an ambassador to Jamaica, and he's, this professor at Stanford. So he's doing stuff. He ain't just some old, my mama got drunk at the club and she met this dude. I mean, he's doing some things with his life, but he tells the story. He says that her mom took the girls, her and her sister, and moved them to Canada and made it very hard for him to be in their lives. And how that goes, caused the wedge between the relationship and between him and his daughters. And he says that's what happened. So it wasn't like he was a deadbeat father. Moms took him to a whole nother country until she came back to go to school at Howard. So,
right. So, so that narrative, she was raised in the United States. She was not raised in the United States. Her formative years was overseas in Canada. And as far as her HBCU thing, she went to the HBCUs, took advantage of that, got all those fools, all these educated fools behind her to do all that. But you guys all got to remember this, though. Indian, she comes from a culture of a caste system. So she firmly believes in that caste system because that was initiated with her mother. Now, don't get me wrong. Her mother's young, whatever. And remember like some of your liberal white friends? Why are your liberal white friends kids so racist? But they were your best friends growing up, but their kids are racist right now in their formative years. So, Kamala's mom goes to whatever, I'm not speaking for her, but you got to remember her culture is who she is. And that culture is very strong in India. They believe in formulative racism, period. If you're dark skinned over there, you are a masala. Watch Mississippi Masala starring Denzel Washington and Michelle Trudru, whatever her name is. Very good movie, calls it out specifically for what it is.
Yep. And Johan says HBCU getting Biden money. Okay, I didn't know that. Are you getting money from Biden? I know Trump was giving them some money too.
Yeah. Well, that's basically the federal government money that was initiated by Trump. Now it's under the administration, right?
That's what I thought. Yeah. Okay. So Mr. Few Closer says, y'all got so many names for this dude. Roly Poly is a Democratic Party operative for money. James Clyburn and Cedric Richmond are silent. Yeah. I just, and everybody said it. Roland Martin thought he was going to get him a cabinet position. He was going to be in the White House.
Press secretary. He'd be shooting for.
Yeah, he thought he was going to be in there like swimwear, and he ain't even got. Did they at least give him a golden butter biscuit?
They didn't even call that nigga. All that work he did, they didn't even call him.
LaRon, how you doing? I saw your comment. I was cracking up. He says Tim is married to Lindsey Graham.
Possible. They're both from South Carolina. They're both single grown men, never been married. And if you listen to the way Tim talks, he talks like he ain't even black.
Hey, I'm just saying, anything is possible. Anything is possible. And DG Blue 22, he says Chucks and Pearls hanging with the Golden State fans. Okay, so they were they hiding out. And
everybody was a Golden State fan. Now you can't find them. Everybody was Chicago Bulls fan. Now you can't find them. You know,
wait till they win the championship again. I'm sure
they'll be back.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And China says she's coming to Africa, and Tania rather says, I'm coming with y'all to the motherland. All right now. The more the merrier. And Rick, see how you doing? He says, hey family, Charlotte North, I think in Carolina, in the house. I'm late, but always on time. You better believe it. And if you guys are in the watch parties or other places on Facebook, if you click on a link, I'd love to read your comments. That'll bring you over here. And Tawana, how you doing? It says Harry and Meghan syndrome. Yes. So when Harry, he down for Meghan. I wish I could have me a man like that. He was just he risked it all. He gave it away. He walked away from the kingdom for his black queen. I was like, but yeah, Jerome go to work for his black queen every day and can't even get a pat on the back.
That people don't really understand how the royal family works. Harry, yes, he's going to have wealth and stuff like that, but not like his brother. He will never inherit the throne. He's kind of out there, just like the prince that just died, Queen Elizabeth's husband. The guy's basically, he's a consort. That's basically what he does. He's there to be with her and advise her, and that's pretty much it. His wealth all surmises from her. In Harry's situation, he will get a stipend from the state in regards.
They're not even getting that. They walked, and that's why he was eating, because he walked away from it. In fact, they said that they had to pay some stuff back, and so people.
I'm going to cut you off. But the thing about white supremacy, they're doing that now. But when the queen dies, and we're going to talk about this they're saying
it ain't the queen. They're saying it's everybody but the queen.
Yeah. But we're going to talk about this a little bit later on another show, maybe the Demetra K show. Do you guys realize that the baby boomers are set to give $67 trillion to Generation Xers? $67 trillion of wealth is going to be transferred to Generation Xers. That's mostly white people. Baby boomers that are black, no wealth to be transferred. Maybe 20% of us, maybe 15 that are in that kind of category. But overall black wealth from baby boomers to Generation Xers, zero. And we're going to talk about that, in another show or stuff like that. But when it comes to white people, he might be out now, but he going to get his cut of the pie a little bit later on.
Yep. And Rick says, I'm talking to my wife more and more about leaving. Yeah. And a lot of people are just like, hey, you know what, let's blow the spot. There's nothing here, right? And Tanaya says, Demetra and Donovan, honestly, I want us to vote on the local level 2022 midterms, but ignore the federal and send a powerful message. We have to get tangibles for our vote enough. Yeah, I agree with you. I think we should vote on the local and state elections because they do directly affect us more, right? The federal, okay, whatever, right? But yeah, your judges, your sheriffs, your city councils and school boards and all those things. Those do have a direct effect on us. So we should get out there. Well, first educate ourselves on who we're voting for. And stop saying, well, they've been in office for 30 years. They must be doing a good job. I'm just going to go on and vote for them.
North Carolina, Mr. Brown that was recently killed. How did a law in North Carolina that predominantly is for the police to unilaterally shoot black people down without any witnesses gets passed? This is our problem as black people. We don't research. We don't want to, we go with the soundbite. We go with what the Democratic Party or whoever tells us to do rather than doing our own research. We say on this show, don't just listen to what we're saying. Research what we're saying. And if you're on the same page and you're a logical thinking person and a critically thinking person, it's going to affect your life. Because if we don't make a stand now as black people, you know who's going to have to fight this battle later on? Your grandkids. And it's bad enough they're not going to have any wealth. They're going to be dealing with just trying to find a place to live, much less dealing with racism.
And that's what Stevie Wonder said. He was like, I need to give my grandchildren and my great grandchildren a fighting chance, and I just don't see it over here in America anymore. So he said that was one of the reasons he's leaving. And Angela, how you doing? He says Donovan is literally on the couch with this one. He was like, yeah, I got to be, I just got to take a day off. Saturday is the only day that Donovan and I are away from, videos and all of that. And so I think Donovan is beat us to it already. And Tina, you says Israel United in Christ is focused on rebuilding a nation, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, quote unquote. Okay. News to me, but okay.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to it, but we have to unite among ourselves before we can unite with anyone else.
Yeah, because those other two people, groups that you named, they're not interested in uniting with Black people. They're just not. So I don't know, maybe we've missed a memo somewhere. I don't know. Yeah, you're a little bit fuzzy, Donovan. I think it's the couch. The couch is making the computer sleepy. He'll be back. And ML Williams said, there you go. He said, this is the community where, he said, the elites reside. What is that? Donovan, you know what that is? DALITS. Hey, Jacqueline, how you doing? You say greetings.
Oh, no, enlighten me.
Yeah, I've never heard that before, but please enlighten us. And Mr. Fewclose says Blacks have been emotionalized by these preachers, Lord, who tell you to love everybody, which goes against the laws of nature. Show me where a deer loves a lion. Man, you told nothing but the truth right there.
Or they keep telling you, what the Bible keeps telling you, love your brothers, that do spitefully use you. If you don't have Black skin like me, you ain't my brother. You see what I'm saying? It's like, that doesn't mean, the Asian guy, that's not my brother. We don't look alike. We don't have the same stuff.
You're right. Yeah, but you ain't lying. But that's what we're taught. Oh, you gotta love everybody. Turn the other cheek. Oh, if your enemy does something to you, just forgive them. Even if they come up into the church and mow down 9 of your relatives, just get up in front of the world and say we forgive them. In fact, we don't even want them to have the death penalty.
Right. How many of you guys remember Amber Geiger, the woman that went into the house and shot, what's his name, Bothan Jean, while he was eating some cornflakes or ice cream, whatever? Right. His brother goes up there, can I give her a hug and whatever. She's so sorry about it, right? She just appealed her case this week and recommended that they throw the whole thing out because she was justified in shooting him because she thought she was in her apartment. But she's remorseful for what she did. These people are devils. They're just devils.
Yeah, and it sounds like the judge laughed at her too. Like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna need you to leave. I'm gonna need you to leave my court. Or to her lawyer anyway. Yeah, it doesn't sound like she was very successful with that. And so let me get to these comments. I paid in full. You say, I turned my whole backyard into an agricultural business. I also have gardening classes. All right, now, yeah, Donovan has done the same thing. He's talking about going to some of our food deserts and, giving people an opportunity to purchase some of those fruits and vegetables. You want to tell them about that, Donovan?
Well, I have a good friend. His name is Anthony Velasquez. He's a brother from Belize. So he has the perfect name here in California, by the way. If you're a Black brother with a Hispanic name, you're going to get some business based on just that name alone. But he has a garden out here that he's doing. And we have farmers markets. And, they've become very, very popular all around the nation. And what he does is he has his fruits and stuff, and he raises his fruits and stuff, and he goes to these food deserts because here in California, there are no Black grocery stores. Everything's Hispanic grocery store, whatever. So since we have these deserts, he's out there, making it possible for us to get, quality fruits and vegetables that we can feed our families and our kids, in a better thing. But here's the thing. If you're an entrepreneur, why not go ahead and buy you a little cart and go out there and sell the fresh fruit and the lettuce in the gardens out there and make your own money on the side and do that? Because, again, you see this stuff happening all over the place and you can make your money. And you know, I mean, the fruit initially goes bad, but there's also a way you can make money when the fruit goes bad by recycling it back into the soil and doing all that other good stuff. So we got to start thinking about stuff like that. The excuse of the food desert, it's true, but there's a way where we can counteract that.
Mm-hmm. And ML Williams, you say that is correct. And hello to you if I haven't said that already. And Razor SE15, how you doing? He says, but my mother had a baby with a black man. I don't get what your point, the point you're making. And no, I do not support cops like her. So it must have been something you said, Donovan. That
I think what he's talking about when I was talking about the caste system. Now, you remember, you got to remember in a caste system or any system, how many of us have that brother or somebody that got with the white guy when they were younger and they had a kid and something that happened. And then as they get older, because of the culture clashes, they realize, hey, this wasn't good for me. I got ostracized by my family. Or how many Strom Thurmond, one of the biggest racists ever to be in Congress. Come to find out, he had a black daughter. They will not cut themselves off for their money out of love of a black woman. So what I'm saying is, yeah, she had a thing with a black baby, but that doesn't stop her from being racist or in the system of her culture of a caste system. Everybody makes mistakes. Not that their kids are mistakes, but you know what I mean? The relationship didn't work out. She's older. She learned it. And by the way, her mother has passed on. So her mother never did live to see her daughter become vice president.
Absolutely. And so let's see here. And Rick C, you say, are y'all saying Kamala's mom belonged to the them streets? I'm not saying that. Amina, sounds like she was a very honorable, Lord have mercy, honorable woman. I mean,
yeah. It was a civil rights movement, and you're gonna realize this. And I know a lot of older brothers don't like this. This is why the older gentlemen hate on the younger guys of the other generations, because younger people have more access to interracial sex. That's a real thing, believe it or not. It really is. And they're jealous of that because in their time, they couldn't do that. So for Kamala's dad to have, to be with a woman that's of a different race, that was a big thing back then. You see, now for these kids, that's a common thing. You can get a white girl in California. You can do that if you wanted to, if you so desire, my brother. But back in their day, that wasn't such a big thing. So yeah. I mean, I'm not saying she's from the streets, but in that time, not only was she not technically black, she was from a totally different country.
All right. And Mr. Pirate Brain says Kamala was raised in Canada and India, but claims she was the little girl that was affected by racism. She wasn't even here. Well, I think they grew up in Oakland for a little while.
She was in Oakland until she was about 9. Then her mom and them skedaddled up into Canada. And then she never returned until she went to college.
Mm-hmm. So she was here for a little bit, right? And Donovan says, shout out where you guys are listening and watching from. Yeah, that'd be interesting to know. And Coffee63, how you doing? He says, greetings from the UK. So we know you're from the UK. And Razor says, laugh out loud. And Lisa, how you doing? And Eric says, Roland got biscuits with no butter and he mad. He is upset. And oops, these comments jumped up. I'm gonna get to these comments so we can catch up. And Mr. Few Clothes, you say CNN asked James Clyburn what did he want for Biden's success. Clyburn said nothing, but his daughter Mignon got a job, but to hell with other black people.
Yes, most of your political people, Maxine Waters, you name it, Sheila Jackson Lee, Jim Clyburn, if they have children, their children automatically set up some kind of political apparatus so that money could be funneled into the family and into that family member. Jim Clyburn's daughter, who has no knowledge of politics, has a political consulting firm. How that works, I don't know, but a lot of them, if you look at the Congressional Black Caucus, I have a series that I'm doing, Black Politicians Ain't Shit. And I point out how all of these people have the playbook of how they funnel money to their own family members. Corrine Brown, Congresswoman that went to jail for stealing from a kid's charity, which was a slush fund. Her daughter is a lawyer, yes, and went to a lawyer's school. But money was funneled for her because when you run your campaign, who do you bring on board as your political support team? Family members. And that's what they do. And that's the playbook. So that's how she got on. She knows nothing about politics. It's a setup so that they can funnel money into their family. Maxine Waters' daughter got over, in her last election, got almost $1 million just to print out flyers, so this is how they do it.
That's how it's done. And let's see, make sure I didn't skip anything. Robin says, I never believed Megan. Did you get that one already or no? Okay, it says, I never believed Megan didn't know about the British royals' past with slavery and racism. We Black women can be so embarrassing, admiring Harry and Meghan like that. Yeah, come on. She had to know because she said she didn't. It's like, come on now. I'm not nowhere involved to care about what the royals are doing, and I had some idea. So come on.
No idea who this man was. But then again, we have Black people that say, ooh, I'm going to vote for Joe Biden because I think he's so handsome.
Yes, that's a real true story. I know of a woman who said that Joe Biden was handsome. I said, you don't get out much, do you? And Aiden says, remember Rwanda? He says, when the severe drought hits in Africa, all visitors will be held back or killed. They claim they are stealing our jobs and resources. That's crazy. And Frank, how you doing? He says, Tim Scott, no Black friends. No, clearly, right? And if he does, I'm sure him and Candace Owens, they hang out a lot. They probably, have seasonless chicken together or something. I don't know. And Righteous Soul Sister.
Quick, says, Tim Scott is not a member of the Congressional Black Caucus. You would think he would be, right? Being a member, he's in Congress. He is not a member.
I mean, might as well be. They don't do nothing for Black people either, so I don't know why he's holding out. And Righteous Soul Sister, I like that name. How you doing? He says, yes, vote on lower levels. Yes, do that to affect change where you live, right? And Warrior Scholar, how you doing? He says, as Black people, quote unquote, let's be honest, more than 90% of us, quote unquote, have chosen the side of the enemy. Damn, you say more than 90%? I mean, I was thinking it was high, but 90%, that's a lot. I mean, you might be onto something because it's very draining sometimes, I was having a conversation with Donovan earlier, and I said I would never say this in public, and I'm going to say I'm going to try to be cool with it. But I was like, I just don't think we're capable of change. I don't think it gets daunting sometimes. Just some of the stuff we see and we hear, and I know y'all know what we talk about. Some of the stuff you see and hear from our people, you're like, is this for real? Are we being punked? Like, what's really going on? This can't be real, but it is. Some people are really just 10 toes down on standing with the oppressor. So I maybe you're right. Antonia says, what's the name of Donovan's page? Donovan, give me your page. He's got a few.
Yeah, I got a few of them. But yeah, like I said, just use my name, Donovan Sadiq, on Facebook and YouTube. But my podcast, you can find it on iHeartRadio and Spotify and all of the different things. Just put in Donovan Sadiq podcast or whatever, and you're going to see there. And I talk about, I have a series called Black Politicians Ain't Shit. Check it out. Got some big thumbs up on it and a couple of them. Some of them, some people don't like, but again, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing and highlighting these people to make them feel bad. Like John Lewis, he's a civil rights icon. We don't call Martin Luther King an icon. We don't call Malcolm X an icon. We don't call the Honorable Elijah Muhammad an icon, nor Louis Farrakhan an icon, but we call John Lewis an icon. 6 years in the civil rights movement, saying how bad this white man is, and yet he spent over 30 years on the oppressor's side. So in those 30 years, as a member of the oppression class, he did absolutely nothing for Black people. And I actually show their record. I just don't talk about it. I show you their congressional record. So check it out when you get a chance, and hope to see you there.
Symbolism. That's all it is. It's just symbolism. And Lisa, you say, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge and their rejection of truth. Absolutely. And Razor, you say, I swear some people who come on these chariots like to type the most incredible bullocks that something, it says can't comprehend because I can't see the emoji.
That's
from
the
here.
brain.
Oh, that the brain. You can see it from your end? I don't know. You must be on some other page as well because I can't see it. But okay, true. Very true though. And Robert says, our grandkids and great grandkids will be slaves if we don't get this right. Something have to be done to close the wealth gap in this country. I said that on one of my videos for the African Diaspora News Channel, that, listen to the language that the oppressor uses, in our school systems. They talking about we need to start teaching the good, the bad, and the ugly of slavery. And the dude had the nerve to say the good, And so we're hearing a lot of language and rhetoric like that. It's like, so what are they trying to get us used to the idea of being a slave? Now, I know it sounds kind of funny, and we think, oh, they'll never do slavery again because they got rid of it. Well, look at some of the laws they're passing. They're straight out of the Jim Crow era. So if we don't get our stuff together, it's very, possible that will be on. Now, I ain't talking about the mental plantation we on, but like a physical one. And I don't do well in the sun too long. I just don't. So I don't know. And Razor, you say chat rooms. Okay. Typo, no worries. And Frankie says black banks. Yeah, there's a few black banks throughout the country. And if you don't live by one, go online. I have one. It's called One United Bank. It is out of Los Angeles, and I set it up online. But you can do transactions there, but just keep it in mind that black banks are also regulated by the FDIC, the federal government. But, it's a black bank nevertheless. And the premise of banking black is to, potentially help black people get loans, easier than we would at a white bank. But I haven't heard anything negative about black banks because I really haven't had that conversation with a lot of people who have a black bank account. But yeah, sure. We should put our money into banks that are going to help us, not just because it's a black bank, but a bank that's actually going to help us move the ball.
Speaking of black banks and banking in general, how many of you guys heard that the House passed the Cannabis Banking Act, which is now in the Senate and sitting in the Senate and waiting for voting? You guys are saying, well, what is that Cannabis Banking Act is, right? This younger generation of black people are smoking cannabis, and it's a normal thing versus the older generation, right? And it is a normal thing. This is going to give cannabis people the ability to, instead of being cash and carry, to deposit money into these banks, which would definitely stimulate the cannabis industry. Demetria would know more about it in regards to that. But why don't we know these things if we're the main consumers, and we're not the main consumers of cannabis, don't get me wrong, but if we're going to be partaking in this industry, at least a small part of it, how come we don't know and are not ready for these legislation that is passing through? Because the only reason that they're taking their time to do this is so that these senators and these congressmen can set themselves up to make millions of trillions of dollars off of it.
Yep. They straight up want to commercialize it for their own benefit. Absolutely. And Eric Aluso, how you doing? He says, there's no way I'm joining anyone's religious theocracy, not even a black one. I'll pass. Yeah, same here. I'm not religious at all. I do believe in a higher power, but yeah, all that, nah. Been there, done that, brother. And Sumo Blackberry says, when you don't understand white supremacy, everything will confuse you. The lies of white supremacy also confuses white people. Absolutely. But some people don't want to know, They, the crazy part is there's a lot of people who believe Kamala when she says America's not racist. They'll say, you know what? She's right. Because they just don't understand.
But let Tim Scott, a Republican, say it. Oh, here coon. Oh no, Uncle Tim. They said the same thing.
Yeah, the same thing. And ML, you say the lower rung in the Indian culture. Talking about Kamala and Robin says, yes, Amber is appealing her case. Yeah, from what I understand, it don't sound like it went well for her. If you guys have some more information. And you say, I wish the majority of black folks could travel abroad. I spoke with a friend of mine who travels to Africa often. Why? Because he says he is always treated like the king he is. Yes, we went, and it was a totally awesome experience. Yeah, Donovan, he can't wait to get back there. But no, it was an awesome experience. Awesome. I can't wait to get back there either. Hopefully, I'll be able to go. They won't bar me from coming back or going over there because I haven't had my jab, if you will.
Exactly. And there are 50 something countries for us to explore. And that is more than enough for a lifetime. And I plan to try to go to as many of those countries as I can, other than the countries I've already been to. So again, how many of you guys have been to Jamaica and the Bahamas 30 times already, but you've never been to Africa? Go to Africa at least once. At least once. It will change your life.
At least once. Hey, Edward, how you doing? You say, hey, Demetra and Donovan. And Rainey, what's going on with you? If I haven't said hello already. He says, now there are 2 sets of rules in America. You say one for African Americans and one for everyone else. Yep. Sounds like slavery, doesn't it? I mean, I'm just saying. Sounds like, right back in the heart of Jim Crow. Not to laugh because it's funny, but it's like, a couple years ago, I don't know, maybe you guys did, but a lot of us didn't think we would be here, but here we are, even just talking about it. And Razor, you talk about horrible woman. I think you're talking about Amber Geiger or Kamala. Either way, they both fit that description. And Tania, you are praising Rainey. And Frankie says Black Farmers Market. Yes, there's some out here in Houston. I just need to find them. I love farmers market, and I can't wait to be able to go to a Black farmers market. And Aiden
quality food. I mean, and a lot thicker and healthier.
Oh yeah, I can't wait. And let's see here. Okay, I'm gonna get to these comments for real. And Aiden says, Donovan, love the enemy does mean your Israelite brothers all over the world that accept the God of Israel through his son, our Lord, not Esau or red man, aka white man. The Bible is about us. I can see that to some degree. Some degree I can see it. And Kiki, how you doing? He says, hey, beautiful peeps. She says, out here soaking up some sun. Where are you at? Because we're drab and raining here. Okay, I need some of that.
Yeah, well, the last I checked, she was kicking it with her beautiful sister somewhere. So maybe that's an old picture. I don't know. But my number is 976. No.
We should also say happy belated birthday to you as well. And you also say, hey, Queen Demetra, King Donovan, happy Friday. Yes. Happy Friday. ML says, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad stated years ago, the nature of the dominant society, Hollywood used one of their main Jedi tricks and created fictional characters, detaching folks from reality. Absolutely. Isn't that crazy? How, some of our wise people spoke things so many years ago, and all of that stuff is coming to fruition as in front of our very eyes. And Tania, you say, I'm from Oakland. We don't claim that heifer. Don't tell Kamala that shoe. She was up there in the Yay area doing big things. Shut up, Donovan. Okay. This is a family-oriented channel.
Thotting. She was thotting with Willie Brown. Willie. What's your name, Willie? I'm with Willie.
You know what? Just a side story. Willie must be a ladies' man. I tell you, Donovan and I had the unfortunate experience of traveling with a Black group that shall remain nameless. We were invited to go, so we went. It was a bus trip from hell, 8-9 hour drive from Southern California to Northern California to the state
bathroom, Black organization, and a well-known, reputable Black organization. No bathroom on the bus.
The Wi-Fi Donovan froze. The Wi-Fi, though, it was a horrible trip. Okay, so we finally get there, and we're sitting there, and all of a sudden, you see these geriatric women, just wings flying up in the air. Well, their wigs really wasn't flying, but that's what I saw, right? They was and we're like, what the hell? What's going on? It was Willie Brown. Those old ladies was darting out of there. Come on. They're telling me, come on, take a picture. I want to take a picture with Willie Brown. I'm like, who? I was like, do you, ma'am? Do you? Okay, don't raise your blood pressure over Willie. So he might be, Kamala knew something we don't know. I don't know. But let's see here. And Frank says, subsidized minimum wage housing, rezone, rethink, rebuild, reform. Okay. And ML says, Seattle is pandemic when it comes to interracial dating. Yeah, Seattle's really liberal, right? That's Oregon and Seattle area to Washington. They're all very liberal. Do they still have the downtown commandeer? And Razor says, and Donovan, not mine, hers. Black people from the West Indies have had mixed Indian kids for 4 centuries. Also, I feel what you're saying. A whole heap of white people act the same way. And ML says she definitely has no Oakland roots. Yeah, well, let her tell us she do. You know, she was hanging out with Too Short and E40 and all of them. You know, they just pouring out a little liquor and drinking, you know, Slurricane and stuff. You know, is it toking on some weed and you know what I'm saying, Fife? Or one of them, Snoop Dogg or somebody. It's like, cut it.
Hey,
okay?
wait, have I smoked weed? I'm Jamaican. You know, she's such a chameleon. She's Jamaican here. She's black when it comes to here. She's Indian. Oh my, it's crazy.
I won't even mention her Jamaican daddy, who was pissed that she said that. He says, my mother would be rolling over in her grave if she knew she said that about our people. You know, they're associating weed smoking with being. That's the only thing you can think of. No jerk chicken. I mean, I'm just saying. And Lashana, I hope I said that right. Lashana, I think it is. He says, greetings, Demetra and Donovan. Excited to finally catch you both live. And we're excited to have you here. And Willie, how you doing? He says, the younger generation suffer the same ramification as the older generation for swirling. Well,
yeah. The thing is, though, they have more. Younger generation has more access to it because it's more acceptable now than it was then. It's just like adult films. Adult films were hidden in plastic bags in theaters. Now you can see an adult porn star on IG and all this other stuff, and it's like normal to them. So,
right. And I don't know if you guys got a chance to see. Did he say this on? I think he did say it on the Breakfast Club because he'd be all over. Where he says that mixed children are Africans as well. And I agree with him. Now, what their mother and father did, it's not their fault per se, but at the end of the day, they black. White supremacy doesn't. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I agree with what they don't do their thing. But look at the NBA. Would you ever think all them light-skinned dudes would be balling like that? They got to be black.
It's funny. And emails, you say that's why she skipped over to San Francisco. Okay, yeah, that's where she got her political teeth in San Francisco. And Robin says, Joe Biden handsome on what planet? I've heard it all. Okay, I'm like, just vote for the man already. You ain't got to lie to kick it down. And Mimi, how you doing? He says, I cannot get a break with. He says, I think white. Okay, and everyone says psychology, 101. That chip is still on Tim Scott's shoulder. It's definitely something wrong with the dude. I was watching it and I was just like, did he really just say that? Yeah, he said it. And I just laughed the whole time because he was reading a teleprompter and you could tell it was written for him. Like, okay, boy, you get out there and you read them talking points, whatever, and you make sure you put an emphasis on that America's not racist. And Razor says, I feel about change. It's very similar in the UK. Okay. And then Ada says, 1 Timothy 5:15, for some are already turned aside after Satan. And Mimi says, foundational Black Americans or Israel just got to have access to those other women.
I mean, if you guys think about it, if you are like in my age group, because Demetra's a millennial, if you're in my age group,
okay,
think about it. How much wealth is going to be that you're going to inherit when your parents pass on? How much wealth? We're not even talking about our grandparents because they struggle to get our parents where they're at. Now, our parents who fought the civil rights movement, nobody benefited more from the civil rights movement than the people that actually fought it. So when they fought the civil rights movement, they got the affirmative action going. They got the government job. You see them talking about it. Oh, I did this and I did that. I've been on my job for 30 years. I'm the first to move into my community. I'm the first to do all this, right? How much wealth is that are you guys going to inherit? And I would strongly recommend you, if your parents are still alive right now, that you have that discussion, because in the white community alone, $67 trillion is going to change hands between the two. And they have already projected by the numbers. Black wealth, you're talking maybe 17 trillion, if that, and that's by the low numbers of the Black people that have the money, which is the entertainers, the sports athletes, and so on, so forth. And we have a few venture capitalists and people that are in business. HBCU graduates, where are the Black businesses? There are none. HBCU graduates usually go off and work for the corporate white America. I mean, we have no businesses to inherit. We have nothing to inherit. You better have that conversation because it is real.
Absolutely. And Eric, you say, Donovan, John Lewis was a civil rights superstar.
Okay, and I responded to him in the comments, but again, okay, Eric, I agree with you. He was a superstar, even though Stokely Carmichael kicked him the hell out of the SCLC because he was so damn ineffective. But yeah, but I'll give you this. Since he was such a civil rights superstar, you said civil rights superstar, name me one specific piece of legislation, and I talked about him in my podcast, that John Lewis did specifically for his people. Name me that legislation and get back to me. But I'll tell you what, I already know the answer. There is none.
Yes, it's a sad fact. And Jalen, how you doing? He says, everyone should know by now that nonprofits are the best scams for politicians. That's why I never donate to them. I'd rather give food to the homeless myself. So you're a lot like me. People ask me to do that kind of stuff. It depends really on what it is. If I am familiar with it, then yeah, but yeah, you're spot on. You might as well just give it to them personally, right? And it's just faster that way. And Afro Diaspora Network, he says, Donovan's podcast is for real. Black politicians ain't bleep. It's really good. So yes, please check it out. And Mimi says, how can you unite with your open enemy? Come on, Israel United, including the Latinos. So you guys are including the Latinos in with the struggle. Okay. And Donovan says, Eric, please. Oh, so you did ask him that. And Molly, how you doing? He says, it's good to see you, Demetra and Donovan. Happy Cinco de Mayo weekend. Can you let us know if you celebrate Cinco de Mayo since you're in Texas? No, I don't celebrate Cinco de Mayo, which is supposed to be Mexican Independence Day. But from what I understand, it don't even sound like Mexico celebrates that. I did a little research on it once, and it says that Cinco de Mayo is really something that's Americanized, and it's really for the companies to, especially the beer companies, to get people out there to drink and celebrate. So again, it's become one of those, I won't say, yeah, I guess maybe a pagan holidays. It's a commercial holiday. I guess that's what I'm really trying to say. Cinco de Mayo, along with a lot of other ones, have been commercialized, but no, I don't celebrate it.
Let me answer that, Moni. Let me tell you, since this pandemic has happened, I've had Cinco de Mayo every weekend in my neighborhood. Okay. And what I mean by that, I live in a Mexican neighborhood now. Gentrification, it's all Mexican, right? Every individual family has to party every weekend. So if it ain't this one, it's this one over here. Then it's this one. And they got the whole mariachi band and I can't get to sleep on the weekends. That's why my Saturdays are so important. Okay. 3 days every weekend.
Oh, and just wait for it, buddy. Tomorrow is going to be on and cracking. Same here in my neighborhood. I'm like, if once I'm able to like drown it out, I'm good, right? I'm good. But like you said, it'd be this house, it'd be that house, this house, and then you can't find parking. God, it's like, Lord have mercy. Yeah, so I guess he's right. We celebrate it all the time. And Mimi says Black Bank in LA. I think you been there for from the 50s. My daddy banked with them on Western. Yeah, it is on Western. I'm not sure where One United is. Maybe it is on Western. But they have two of them out there, if I'm not mistaken. Hey, Jonelle, how you doing? And Emma Williams says, young people are being shut out of good-paying jobs due to the discrimination of marijuana. Yeah, but just watch. They're going to legalize it and make it hard for the little man to get in on it. That was always the plan. They figure, well, we can't beat them. We might as well steal it from them.
Yeah,
not join them, steal it.
Yeah, and the sad thing is our younger kids aren't like my grandkids and people's grandkids. Number one, AI is taking their jobs, so that you're not going to have that opportunity. These kids, it doesn't matter how much education you got. You've got people like myself. I've got 12 degrees. Not that I could work if I want to, but I'm a different generation. You can have all the degrees you want. It's about who you know. When President Biden was talking about his infrastructure plan, he wasn't talking to Black people. We can't even get our grandkids to take the trash out without spilling it all over the place. Where are our Black auto mechanics? Where are our Black construction people? And I'm just saying, not everybody. I'm talking about, we have them, but they're very small. So if we have small groups of these contractors who do you think is going to benefit from this infrastructure bill that your tax dollars are going to pay for? White America, because they're the ones that have the contracting licenses. They're the ones that set up their nephews and their cousins to get the license or to get waived the fee or whatever, so they can go get these jobs that's going to come in. He's not talking to Black people, because if you look into your community and your house is run down right now in your hood and you can't get your fence fixed and you can't get your roof fixed in your own community, we are lacking the builders within our community, because we have told our children, our parents have told us, go to a college and get a degree. And what kind of degree are we getting? Psychology. I'm gonna be an athlete. I'm gonna be a rapper. We have basically cut our own throats when it comes to getting this infrastructure type money. You're always going to need your builders, but for some reason, the Black community is lacking builders within our community.
Yep, that's why you always see a lot of construction crews, Hispanic or white. I mean, I know they got a few Black ones, but not like they do everywhere else. So yes, and Mimi says, dang, she blew me away with that one. And ML says, Dred Scott. And Afro Diaspora Network says, what is the point of having elected Black officials and they do absolutely nothing? Good question. And Mimi says, we've got to get the hell out of here, family. I agree with you. And Jonelle says, the mockery founded on slavery, but not racist, founded in bias, not racist, rooted in the blood of every people on the planet, but not racist, wars on bias, lies, but not racist, police bias, murder, but claim to not to be racist, just hypocrisy at its finest. So he's talking about Kamala, talking about America is not racist, but like you said, everything woven in America is racist. So what does that make it? And Marty says, what I see as a Chinese astrologer is that their systems are going to be destroyed and it's going to be more brutal deaths one after another. But at the end of the day, they're going to start reaping. Okay, so is that what you do? Interesting. And Mimi says, absolutely, they don't do anything for us. As a matter of fact, I believe if I see Black politicians, then I classify them as paid for bootlickers. Oh, absolutely. They have bought in. And Moni says, they're going to start reaping every bit that they have sown. Remember all that God don't punish you for, he will punish your children and your children's children down to the 6th and 7th generation. That's what the Bible says. And Jonelle says, clearly they're only making better, well-groomed slaves. When Stephen and Kizzy speak from the White House, they say Master Candy ain't racist. Clearly, the Black Holocaust continues, mental slavery and physical death still going. Kizzy. And Marty says, I trust God and I'm never going to say that I don't support God because he's the only one that ever done for me. You got to know the power of God. Without God, you wouldn't even have life. Let's be clear. Oh, no, trust me. I do believe in God. I'm not one of those people running around here talking about, I'm an atheist. No, never be that silly. You also say, you see how she's passed $300 million to help foreigners, but doing nothing for Black community. I love this channel because I will no longer be voting ever again. So I'm not caught up in this madness. Yes, but please vote on the local and state elections, like your senators and your Congress people and your city councils, your judges and your sheriffs. But, we should be holding our vote, especially at the federal level, because they continue to use us and we get nothing for it. And so, I mean, really, what's the difference, right? They're going to do for everybody else. Let everybody else vote for them, and we can just sit out until they get their understanding right.
Yes, and very important, since they're going to be shooting us down in the streets and whatever, get to jury duty. Stop trying to get out of jury duty. Get to jury duty.
Yep. And Mr. Pyrebrain says, I can't wait to get to the Gambia. Okay. Well, shoot, we trying to be right with you. And Harley, how you doing? He says, my schoolmate, JT, the bigger figure, who has his own YouTube channel, has moved to Kenya. He's helping so-called Blacks move there. Really, I'd be interested in checking that out. Yeah, but a lot of people are just like, I'm gone, y'all. Y'all know where to find me. But so big ups to him. And Mimi says, can someone please post Donovan's info? Donovan, did you put it in there already? Okay, when I see it, I'll put it up on the channel. So yeah, put it up there so I can put it up. On the screen. And Marty says, Donovan's is handsome and I'm surprised he hasn't did more traveling. I can see Donovan going to Venezuela, Egypt. Would be fun to meet you. I think you would be a wonderful in Venezuela and Egypt and even Italy. Donovan, have you traveled to all those places on your wall?
I haven't been to Venezuela, but I've been to Egypt, being in the military. I should pretty much, as a pilot in the military, I pretty much traveled. I'm an extensive traveler. So now that I'm retired, I just go places where, as a civilian, I have more control. So I'm not just there in a military aspect. I can actually explore a lot more and get out. Because when you go over there as in the military, you're worried about people trying to kill you because they don't want you there because you're an American and da 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 da. But if I go there as a civilian, they kind of know I'm not really into all that stuff. But yeah, I haven't been to Venezuela yet, but I have been to Panama several times. Love it. Panama was once part of Venezuela or Colombia, whatever. So, but I'm getting there, and I need to get to Brazil. Once I get to Brazil, you guys might not ever see me again.
Painful says I counted 5 interracial commercials within an hour, but one all-black family. Yeah, I've been noticing that too on television. I don't watch a lot of television, but when I do, it's like, damn, what y'all really trying to say here? And Jonelle says she's truly racist when it comes to being black and true to her roots. Absolutely. She is a wannabe white supremacist. And Mimi says, I'm getting out of here soon. Cannot take America any longer. That makes a lot of us. A lot of people are just saying, I'm good. I'm out. Johan says, Bob Marley says one drop. Yes. I mean, one drop and this is the thing too, because I see a lot of people taking mixed people to task for whatever reason. I'm like, well, technically, if you ADOS, we all mixed. I mean, wouldn't y'all agree? Now, maybe your mama's black and your daddy's black, but hell, if you are ADOS, which means you're a descendant of a slave, more than likely, Massa been creeping. More than likely, he been creeping. So, I mean, we all mixed to something. Ain't none of us in Mandingo, and if you are 100% Mandingo, then you ain't getting no check. I'm just saying, when the reparations do come through, so we all mix to some degree, whether it's a drop of Massa's blood or whatever. But yeah, as long as you got a drop of black, you black.
Exactly. The original deadbeat dad was the white man.
Yep. And you said yes, Queen. Let me try to get it because now I forgot. It says, yes, Queen, you pronounced it correctly. La Shana. Okay, Lashana. Lashana. Now I'm confused. Did I say it right, Lashana? Okay. Okay, got it. Thank you. And Moni says, as soon as I can get fully financially secure, I want to travel. And one of the places I would love to go is Italy, Egypt, Paris, Johannesburg. And he says, please let us know, embrace Cinco de Mayo, Dimitri. Yeah, I mean, I don't have anything against it. I'm just not one to celebrate holidays at all. I've gotten away from it a long time ago because usually it means I have to spend some money. I got to spend some money on celebrating a holiday that really has nothing to do with me. So I don't want you to think, because I think you asked me about St. Patrick's Day as well, and I'm not against it. It's not for me. So I don't celebrate, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I just have a question for you, Moni. Why everybody has their thing. You want to go to Italy and Paris. Now, that's a European area, and there's nothing wrong if you want to go and check it out. But could I strongly recommend going to Africa first? Before you go there, go to Africa first, and then go to Italy, and you're going to see the difference in the architecture and who is really the advanced nations. Okay.
And Mimi, I see you laughing at me because I did say in one of your comments, I said I thought you meant when you said YT, I thought you meant white, and then it dawned on me that you meant YouTube. So yeah, absolutely. Yeah, now that makes sense. And Kiki says, in Florida, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful day. Doc said my vitamin D is low, so fresh air, sunshine, and I welcome getting a few more shades of melanin. Laugh out loud. And Donovan, stay away from my sister, Donovan. It's an older picture, and she's engaged. Thanks for the birthday wishes. Yeah,
hey, she's engaged. She ain't married yet. My mama said, until you're married, you're free game. No, I'm messing with it. Congratulations and stuff like that. And again, happy birthday. I'm gonna say this: you're in Florida. Don't turn up too much.
I wish I could be getting some sun. Texas is like gloomy a lot. Like, dang, I'm gonna have to go back to California for just a little bit. Like it's raining now. It's going to be like that for the 3 or 4 days. It's just awful. Like, oh my God. And so
degrees here in California and sunny.
Mimi says I had to change to my other page. YouTube won't let me post anywhere. Laugh out loud. I wonder why. I heard YouTube be tripping. And you also say we cannot compete with 67 trillion. That's why we must leave and start up fresh in Africa. Yep, I agree. And Archer says, yep, yeah, but the Black people completely ate it up and believe in a new quote unquote start with a Black woman leading the country. Okay, is that what she is, huh? Talking about Kamala. And Marty says it's amazing.
Wait. So Black women actually think that white women are going to stand by, Republican white women and Democratic white women, and let a Black woman become president before them when they've already got a white Black woman or Asian woman that's vice president? You think they're going to stand for that?
Nope, ain't going to happen. And Moni says it's amazing how when these people get jail time, you'll have some sense in the Black community saying that they feel sorry, as in Derek. Oh gosh, Chauvin. You have many in the prosecutor saying bad for him. So Keith Ellison, he is the AG of Minnesota. This Negro fixed his mouth to say that he feels kind of bad for him. Now, that's also the same Keith Ellison that denounced Farrakhan. So, you know.
Keith Ellison is in Congress?
Yeah, yeah, that's him.
Mm-hmm. And he was, he knows Maxine, he knows all these people. And see, these people all know each other. They're all bootlicks under the same premise. And we got to just wake up and do the homework on these people.
Yep. And Mimi says, no, Israel United is tripping with including these other folks. Okay. And Aiden says Latinos and natives are written in the Bible as our brothers and sisters. They are our northern kingdom in Israel. Many are learning and calling themselves by their tribe. We are not Africans. Okay.
Aiden, please let them know that, because if you go up into a Latino or not, obviously they're not reading the book you're reading, because again, natives have their own stuff. If they're our brothers, why don't they want to share with us? Why don't they want to unite with us? So that message needs to go out with them. The thing with Black people in the United States is the problem isn't us loving others. It's others loving us.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to put something up here really quick. Hold up. All right, so I'm gonna get to these comments really quick. And let's see here. And Lashana, you say, Donovan, you have your intel incorrect, brother. Representative Lewis sponsored several bills. Over 20 of them have passed legislation, including the Emmett Till bill. What am I missing?
Okay. Some of those bills, like I said, are they formulative to Black people? Black people have been being killed in the streets for years. He was a civil rights fighter. Where are the bills that are influential to you? Name the bills. Name the bills. He presents everybody bills. And like I've been saying on my podcast, and I've been telling you, I asked you specifically for a bill that addresses Black people, not everybody, Black people. The Emmett Till bill that they're trying to pass right now, they can't pass it because Democrats won't let it pass. The Democratic Party won't let it pass. We know the Republican parties don't give a shit. The Democratic Party. So what I'm saying is, again, do your homework. I'm not talking about an everybody bill, because we know statistically when Black people are incorporated in everybody bills, we are the least to benefit from it. Affirmative action, which was a Black bill specifically put in for Black people to bring us up to the level of white folks, right? Who benefit from affirmative action more than anybody else? White women. White women. So I asked you for a specific bill to address Black issues, not everybody issues. The Emmett Till bill did not pass. So you're throwing up stuff that doesn't make sense because you're not, and I'm not trying to be mean or disrespectful. You've got to read the bill and see what it does, okay? That's an everybody bill. Everything that you just named, the 20 bills that you're talking about, those are everybody bills. And I know specifically what you're kind of talking about because it incorporates everybody. No, we're not talking about everybody. We're talking about Black.
All right now. And Mimi says they have removed the hands-on job classes in classes in school, mechanic, plumbing, etc. Yes, they have. We used to know that as ROP, regional occupational programs, and they had wood shop, mechanic shop, and all that. Yeah, those are gone. And Robin says Attorney General Keith Ellison said that he feels bad for Derek Chauvin and he don't want Chauvin to get the maximum time. It's just like he ain't gonna piss off the police because they gave Derek Chauvin's attorney $1 million to get him off. So he's not going to piss him off, right? And Donovan says, waiting for Eric's reply on John Lewis. This is why we need to have these conversations. Okay. And Mimi says, okay, Aiden, ask them if they're our brothers, they'll laugh at you. And Penelope pissed off. Okay. Now we learned this. She says it's Jonelle, and Jonelle is pronounced the same as in John Nell. Okay, got it. All right, so hopefully I can remember that. And Pam, how you doing? Says greetings, Demetra and Donovan. And Jonelle, you say, if we believe in reaping and sowing, what is the nation sowing and reaping? The math is clear and evident. Even a baby can see the worst is yet to come. Insanity runs America, Revelations 18:4. And Afro Diaspora Network, you say Donovan's info is Donovan Sadiq. So that's one channel you can find on YouTube. So I'll leave that up there for just a minute so you guys can see that. And it's the same thing on the podcast, Donovan. Okay. So the podcast is by the same name. So YouTube and podcast is the same way. And then this Facebook is Donovan Sadiq. And Tania says, I canceled my cable, guys. I watch what I choose to watch. I only have it is because my fiance is a TV fanatic, and he would probably shrivel up without it. So, but other than that, I don't watch it. I didn't even have TV until we got together. To be honest with you, now we got two.
Yeah. Real quick, I want to address the Emmett Till bill. And, again, I love this conversation because we need to have it, everybody. See, this is what I mean about symbolism. The bill was introduced by Bobby Rush in the last Congress, the 117th Congress. Bobby Rush is who? He was a member of the Black Panthers. He joined the oppressor class. The bill is sitting in the Senate. It hasn't passed, and it's not going to pass. See, that's what I'm saying. We keep throwing stuff up about John Lewis did this, and they did that. This shit is sitting in the Senate. It passed the House. It better have passed the House. They have the votes. But it's sitting in the Senate. So nothing that John Lewis has done, there's nothing. There's nothing to it. Nothing to it.
All right. And so Fight for Black, how are you? Says, imagine a racist claiming there is no racism in America. And then Anita, how you doing? And you're agreeing. You said that part. And Mimi says, exactly, for Black. LaMarcus, how you doing? He says, what up, y'all? And Paid in Full says, to be Black in MD, is that Maryland, and want to get in the cannabis industry legit. And I think Maryland is what you're saying. There's a $25,000 Benile license fee, $250,000. Buy grow fee, $80,000. Buy fee to sell. It's impossible. Is your a small business? The thing you're trying to say. Yeah. So basically what you're saying is there's so much money tied up in just the licensing. And I want to say in California, the application fee is $26,000, and it's non-refundable if you don't get selected to have it. So yeah, that's to keep the little man out. So you're absolutely right. And Janelle says, Mike drop Queen Demetra K. We act like white rape isn't in our family. Yeah, I mean, hell, ain't none of us pure, if you will. Otherwise, we wouldn't be talking about we ADOS. I mean, it's really just a fact, right? And LaMarcus says Ghana, and then Razor says, I don't believe in a one drop. My dad is half Asian and has zero African features. So he says, well, he still got it in him, don't he? I mean, if y'all was to look at my fiance is also half Black and white. He's never met his white side of the family. Was raised with his mom's side, and she is like super, well, I don't say super dark skin, but she's fairly dark skin, right? And you wouldn't be able to tell, that he looks more, I guess, from his dad's side than his mom. but he didn't get all of the melanin, but his mom's side of his family is all dark skin. So I guess I'm saying that to say some of us may not look like what we are, but we are that, right? Go ahead and take a DNA test and it'll tell you exactly who you are, or I suppose to anyway. And let's see here. And God is in charge. XOXOXO. How you doing? He says black first, always. And Paid in Full says plus the $6,000 in application fee. Said, yeah, that's how they catch you up. And Mimi crazy. Talk about some Cinco de Mayo with some throw up faces. You crazy. Rick C says, just look at what they're doing now. No reparations, but money is being thrown everywhere else.
Did you notice that too? That's what I keep telling these Democratic bootlegs. There's no money for reparations. And remember, 30% of the population, or I'm sorry, 14% of the population is identified as black, correct? Half of those, 8% of that is ADOS. So those other 12, whatever, 7% of those people aren't going to get a check.
Right. And Fight for Black, you said at Razor, you said there is no black blood in you. Right, let's tell us something. And Sunlight says Florida sucks. My sister, she lives in Florida, and they be on something extra out there all the time. And Mimi says, I'm in LA, and Latinos think I'm one of them. Laugh out loud, but they hate us, foundational Black Americans. Yeah, they really, and it's not. Listen, okay, that's what I was gonna do. I was gonna share this. Like people be thinking you making up stuff, but it's just really the truth, right? So I often put this up, and this is Felix Tijerina. He was the president of LULAC in 1956 through 1960, and he said this: let the Negro fight his own battles. His problems are not mine. I do not want to ally with him. So he basically said, I don't want to be in alliance with Black people. They're not our problems, but yet we keep talking about this Black and brown alliance that was in the 50s, and they were saying, get away, Negro. We don't want to be with you. And we keep saying that. And so a reason why, and I know that was so long ago, but do y'all think that those ideologies have stopped being taught to their people? Just like, do you think those the ideologies of white supremacists and slave masters, do you think they just stopped teaching those principles, their principles rather, to their children and then their children's children? They believe that. And so that's why I get just baffled when we think we have this alliance and everybody just wanting to run and just come join with Black people. For one thing, we collectively have nothing to offer them. We need them at this point more than they need us. So why would they want to come join with us and help us fight our battles? That's not something they're interested in. Never have been, and never will be. And the sooner we realize that we're all we got and we better start fighting our own battles, then the better off we're going to be. I mean, I think, right?
With all these Negroes getting shot in the street for absolutely no reason, why would anybody want to identify or try to join with us and be with us when that's a death sentence?
Yep. And Fight for Black, it says Corpus Christi is gloomy too, Queen Dimitri. Yeah, what's up with all of this gloom? I can't do it. And Jonelle says, how we think we got our European names and those holidays are an insult, a mockery at best of those white have colonized, not to mention some have their rooted in paganism and sexism, and all are commercialized at the expense of those who celebrate the benefit of merchant of death and greedy corporations. Yeah, that's what most of those holidays have become, is just commercialization. So I'm cool, right? And Fight for Black is saying no, and Anita said hell no. And Robin said, I'm sorry, but Black Oreo celebrates Cinco de Mayo. Well, I mean, some people do, right? They, and it's just all about knowing. Once people wake up and they learn certain things, then they'll abstain from those things. But everybody in their own time, right? And Sumo Blackberry says, check out the Human Rights Watch at Democracy Now. You say they list indicators of apartheid from Israel towards Palestine. All those descriptors appear to qualify for Black foundational Black Americans in America. And Jonelle, I hope I said that right. And he says, I read that Ethiopia is an ideal place to visit, 100% uncolonized.
Well, it's been mismanaged since the Emperor Haile Selassie was overthrown in 1975. So I really wouldn't want to go there right now because they still have infighting and civil unrest going on there. So I'm not saying it's a bad place, but like anywhere you want to go, you want to be kind of very careful because there's still infighting within the tribes and stuff. So.
Okay. And let's see here. And LaMarcus says San Antonio's gloomy too. So it's just gloomy all over Texas. Gloomy Texas. Fight for Black says trust and believe. Without our vote, neither Biden nor Harris has a snowball chance in hell. Yep. But like I said, there'll be people who will, you know, get their chucks and pearls back on and get in the trenches for them. And Mimi says it's almost 100 degrees here in LA.
Inland Empire, it is right now 96 degrees.
I mean, I don't want it to be that hot. Damn, can we get some sun?
But a cool breeze.
You just had to rub it in, huh? And then the morning says, types like John Lewis, may God rest his very soul, will get mad credit because at the end of the day, he did do a lot of marching and he stood and got many beatings when even trying to, he said college, going to college at the time, I think you're trying to say?
Integrate colleges and stuff. Well, here's the thing. Did he do that for you or did he do that for me or did he do that for himself? See, that's the thing. Getting beat. I see Negroes getting shot down in the street. So should we lionize them? Does George Floyd need to be lionized because he was murdered on national TV? John Lewis, like I said, it doesn't make sense. You're a civil rights fighter, Bobby Rush. You're a Panther. You're at the table and you've done absolutely nothing. I know it's hard for people to meet their heroes, and then you really find out that your heroes isn't what you think they are. But if you do the homework, you're really going to find John Lewis was all fluff, and a lot of your civil rights people are all fluff. Maxine Waters, Sheila Jackson, all of them. I don't just talk about them. I go over their record. You've been in there for 30 years, and you have no substantial bill for the very people that vote you into office every 2 years. Oh, Barack Obama, 8 years as president, we have nothing to show for it. How can you deny what is factual? I'm sorry. I mean, I'm not telling you who you should like and who you shouldn't like, but you cannot show me anywhere where John Lewis has done anything for his people. And that's all I'm saying.
Right.
Trouble. Good trouble. Good trouble.
Watch out now. All right, I'm gonna get to these comments so we can get on out of here. And Sunlight says that fight for Black, that's past tense. We don't have the leverage we had this past election. And Anita says very true. And Mimi says exactly, Donovan. We always love it on folks like fools. And Moni says it's time for these older ones to get up and get out of office and make room for new. I'm totally now against the voting because these people don't do anything to help us. Let's be clear. Now, I agree with you. And B. Abdul, how you doing? He says our parents push going to college on us instead of getting a trade to become an entrepreneur. You're absolutely right. Get a job. Go get a good job. That's what we all heard, right? Well, I didn't because I come from entrepreneurs. But Martin says, I love how Donovan's shaking his head on a Cinco de Mayo here in Detroit. It's a wonderful festival that you see 95% more Black. So I will be embracing it this weekend, even though it's still a mask. Okay.
Now remember though, Moni, you're up in Detroit. Okay, I'm not saying that you don't have the numbers of Hispanics that we have. This used to be Mexico. So, you know, that's the difference. We got to look at our geographics. And that's all I'm saying. When you're dealing with Mexicans all the time and that culture, it's just here in California, Southern California.
Absolutely. All right. So I'm going to get to these comments because we got a lot of them. And Mimi says, at Moni, it don't matter if they're young or older, we ain't going to get nowhere in this system. And Fight for Black says, at Moni, I have been screaming that very thought for years. If the congressional Black con job ain't doing their job, get them all out of there in 2024 with Biden and Harris too. Yep. And Jonelle says these people speaking on behalf of their handlers are slave-minded Black slavers blooming in anti-Blackness. They have zero self-love nor self-respect. They're Judas to we, the Black Messiah. And Kiki says, nope, staying my distance, no partying over here, just relaxation, laugh out loud. Donovan's right. They don't want us many. Me and my mom bump heads a lot over our Native American heritage, confirmed Cherokee. I don't claim it. They disown and ban Black people with Native blood a few years ago. I'm not claiming who doesn't claim me. I know that's right. And Morning says it's not just the party and then Cinco de Mayo in individual backyards. It's a festival that goes for 2 to 3 miles long, and it's for a couple of hours until the police start running up with the border patrol. Wow. And Donovan, so you answered that about
just answer. Just skip.
Okay, cool. And Morning says in Michigan, we don't have too many Black banks that I know of, but in most banks, you have a lot of Black employees, and you just have to choose wisely. I say you two should party more often. Maybe.
Well, Demetra is an honorary Marine because she has done her duty for her country.
Yes. And Donovan, you tell them to run me my benefits, okay? Run me. I know I got some wounds somewhere, okay? I need my benefits. You got some connects. Mimi says, please don't think that politicians are for us Blacks or Dwight. He says they are placed there for them, Dwight. Oh God, I like that. The white people, not foundational Black Americans. And BB, how you doing? He says, I'm new here and I notice, but why y'all always talking negatively about older people and what age is older? I'm 56. Well, you'll be happy to know we're in our 50s too.
That's right. That's right. And the thing is, we talk about it because that is the main problem with us. You guys notice that the Republican Party, look at how many young people are in the Republican Party now. They move off. In the Black community, the average age of the congressional Black talkers, do you want to know what the average age of them are? 73. 73. The average leadership in the Democratic Party, 73 years old. 73. There's a problem. There's a problem when younger people with newer ideas come in. Do you guys realize Maxine Waters isn't even a baby boomer? She's a silent majority person. She was born in 1938. There's a problem. When we got to carry our leaders out, when we got to carry them out from our cold, dead hands, there's a problem.
Absolutely. And Moni says, Demetra, I hope the person that makes the toothpaste will start making other flavors. I think they need to make a vanilla mint or a chocolate mint to start off, and maybe a pineapple cream. Well, I'll run that by them and see what they say. That sounds good. So we might end up eating the damn toothpaste. All right, that goes to show you how greedy I am. I'm gonna go brush my teeth for the 10th time. Jodell says, we still falling for the symbol over the substance and loving any form of pacification given by white politicians. And Mimi says, blood tells the truth, not facial features. There you go. Perfectly said. And he says, hell, I look Latina. Yeah, I mean, right. So it's going to look like
Mimi, you're in LA. My number is 951. No, I'm messing with you.
I've been trying to get him a boo thing bad. Okay, he said he's trying to be booed up for the summer. And Morning says, if you have a good lawyer, you start getting marijuana in states like Michigan, you can start getting it early on states like Ohio, smaller cities, not necessarily the bigger cities like Texas. Yeah, Texas is like, not today. And Morning says, I notice how they are over pushing that they want to get rid of menthol cigarettes, something that I don't like. And they want to claim that it's only in the Black communities when that's just not true. Well, I think because Black people, smoke menthol cigarettes. I mean, everybody do, but it seems like to be the cigarette of choice.
Black. Yeah, it's like malt liquor. Mostly Black people drink malt liquor. So,
and you say, also, good as they can get rid of menthol cigarettes in areas, how come they can't allow people to get their business license to grow marijuana and be marijuana distributors? Would you consider it, Dimitri? I would love. I don't smoke it. I've never smoked cigarettes. Never smoked weed. I've never done any drugs. God is my witness, okay? For real. That was a dry cough. That wasn't no smoker's cough. I would love to have a business in it because there's going to be a lot of money in it, but I'm not against anybody who wants to smoke it, and sell it. Do you? And Jonelle says,
how do you think these states are going to recuperate lost tax revenue?
Oh,
That is
yeah.
why that bill is sitting on the Senate to legalize marijuana on the federal level. When that happens, boom.
Yep. Jonelle says if an albino has black features and even a white man has black features, clearly black people have the dominant gene. Even a white scientist, Mendel, findings are black genes in dominant and white genes are recessive. Still to this day, black women breast milk is on the market. For white babies, research it, look into eugenics and why fear a black planet, why fear separation from black people. Do a superior people need slaves, and God don't make slaves. There you go. And that's true. And Archie says, guys, I have a very controversial and maybe insulting question. Sorry in advance, but seeing how gullible many of us are, is it too far-fetched to believe that if they somehow found a way of to bring back slavery, we would not necessarily stand against it? I feel like we're so naive, they could fool us. I'm no longer confident in our ability to change. I'm sorry, to take charge of our lives, which would put them in charge.
Okay, let me answer that real quick. The form of slavery that we are used to, being indentured and stuff like that, that will never happen because we are a part of the human rights thing, whatever, and you can't make a person a slave. But you know what? We're already there economically, and that's how they're doing it economically. To actually put a person in slavery and stuff. Like I said, we have women, human trafficking. We've got all these things going on, which is a form of slavery. But it isn't like in chains and forced labor and all that other stuff. Because if the United States ever did that, we would have no business talking to other nations about human rights abuses. So that is why that's not going to happen. But economically, we are already there.
Yeah, absolutely. My daughter wanted us to know in the prison system, slavery. And Marty says, Donovan, I just think it depends on what part of the state you are in, because in Michigan, you have a lot of schools that deal with nothing but builders and infrastructure and vocational skills. You also say mostly when you see the Hispanic construction workers, they give them because they work lower than the most that are paid here in Michigan. They start off a minimum of $18,000 to $35,000 an hour. Well, shit, that's
okay. Well, let's something here, Moni. Okay, we are right at the border of Mexico. How much do you think that they're going to pay these Mexican workers in my neighborhood right now in the pandemic? The ones that do have houses, their houses look like palaces because they can't work. They're doing the thing, so they're up doing their property. Compare that to black folks, ain't happening. But how much do you think that they're going to pay these Mexican workers that come over the border? If they're going to pay them at all? You're saying they're giving a minimum wage of $18? No, we have warehouses and stuff. These people will come here and work for $4, sometimes even $3 in situations an hour, and it's not even on the books. So that's our problem. That wall that you guys were like, oh, Trump and this is that was to help black people. Believe it or not, that was there to help us.
Absolutely. No, for real. I'm finna get to these comments. For real, for real. And Sumo Blackberry says, Phil interviewed a sister that moved to Costa Rica. She protested, was disheartened, moved with her sons. They are accepted and oh so happy. Okay, I have to check that one out. And Martin says, in some parts of the states, like here in Michigan, you can learn, your children can learn vocational skills, trades in high school, from construction to auto mechanic to cosmetology, barbering. And he says LPN plumber. Okay. And you also say, Dimitri, I've been an Oriental, I think you meant astrologer, for over 20 years, and we are in the year of the ox, which in China represents Capricorn. It's going to bring about stability to the land and fruits and vegetables. Okay. And Fight for Black says, John Lewis, Elijah Cummings, Sheila Jackson Lee, Maxine Waters, and the Congressional Black Caucus have done nothing but talk and deceive the Black community, period. Yep, that's about right. And Sandra, how you doing? He says, when we go to Africa, what tribe do we join, or do we make up our own tribe? This is also confusing. Are we a people without a home? Most Black people only speak English. Well, they speak English in Africa, most African countries, and you fit in with them. They got regular cities like we do. So I don't know if you're thinking maybe it's just like you're going to be like in the land, and there's going to be huts and stuff, and there's tribes. I mean, they have that kind of stuff too, but it's modern like it is out here.
Yeah, because actually Demetra is actually from Nigeria, but she was adopted into the Zulu tribe of South Africa. We both were.
Well, my DNA says that I'm Nigerian, okay? So, maybe that's where I'll end up going, is that to Nigeria. And Jonelle says, our son, some of us would vote for slavery. We are that docile. Who hugs the killer of their brother, and who defends the killer of their people? We are destroying slave-minded people. And there's your answer. Donovan's animals are just kicking it. Morning says, but you mark my words, Demetra, as the end of the ox, which ends next year, February of 2022. You're going to start to see more destruction coming within the white society. It's a rude awakening, love. I believe you. It has been prophesized. I mean, come on, you can't do people dirty forever and expect for it not to come back to you. I just think even the laws of the universe says that, right? And Tawana, how you doing? He says, Bobby Rush is a disappointment. He is my congressman. No one runs against him except for Obama. I had no clue who Obama was. Yeah, he completely bought in. They both did, right? And Marty says, not only are you going to start seeing them little by little losing so much that they put in that is not of God, but you're going to be able to get the last laugh. They're being exposed every day. And Razor says, as Sandra, please understand that there are other of our diaspora, please. Okay. And Anita says, is Little Mexico here too in Phoenix, Arizona? Oh, shoot, especially in Arizona. And Fight for Black says, now is the time for a political assault on Congress and all realms of political, state, and local. And you also say, simplify, Demetra. Yes. For real, though, I want my benefits, okay? And Moni says, once I really got aware that I was no longer going to do with it, is dealing locally and seeing how people like John Conyers been in over 53 years before he died and did nothing for Detroit but lie. Well, that's kind of what they all do, right? And Tania says, ain't no way y'all 50. Yes, we 50. Donovan's a little older than me, though.
Yeah, Demetra just made it a couple weeks ago. So
the 50 club, Donovan has been in the 5150 club. Okay, that's the crazy code for in California, the 5150. But thank you anyway. And Carla says, at Tawana, you should run against him. Okay. And Razor says, gotta go, Demetra. Really enjoyed this live stream. Hope to catch you on the next one. Big up, Donovan, and God bless everyone. And all right, we'll be back Sunday at 3. And I'm getting to these comments because we are over time. And my daughter's going to wrap it up. And Marty says, even trying to get a cosmetology and barbering school clock hours reduced here in Michigan when you contact a Republican legislator and Democrat register, they don't even want to help you. They're a liar. Okay. And Fight for Black says, what? Auntie Maxine was born in the freaking 30s. Is she? Oh, I mean, she's older. She's seasoned. Yeah, she's been around for a minute.
Maxine will turn 83 in August this year.
Yeah, she been here. She been reclaiming her time. She been reclaiming her time for a long time now. Oh my goodness.
And I say this to everybody. Everybody's got smartphones. Google this stuff. I'm not saying you guys don't do it, but I'm just saying the information is there. Just Google it. Just Google.
Yeah, she's been on the clock for a minute. And Marty says, when it comes to county commissioners, they get to keep those jobs up until they actually die and not do a damn thing for the immediate public and trying to get new legislation passed. So I'm against them. Yeah, they need to change that. And Robin, you say, where did my comment go?
Maxine Waters was born in 1933. No, she was born in 1938.
Yeah, she's up there. And Moni, you say the one thing I can't respect is a liar that sits in office and can't benefit their children or their families or whoever their friends are, but do absolutely nothing to help you in the process whatsoever. And Fight for Black says, not me. I have a glass of wine, but smoking is not my thing. Every once in a while, I have a little bit of wine every once in a while. And he also say, Moni, no matter how old they are, if you're born in the 30s or the 40s, a crook is a crook. Let's be clear. They stay there because they know they can get large millions of dollars and take family and friends. Yep, that's why they do it. And Fight for Black says, we don't need anything that clouds judgment or leaves us in euphoric state of mind. Hashtag no weed. Yeah, no weed for me. I'm good. And Robin says, Maxine Waters still going strong. She don't look like she's dying anytime soon at this rate. We'll probably die before her from stress, old bird. You know what? You ain't lying, because those be the ones that be here. Like Queen Elizabeth, she almost 100. She like, I'm just getting started. And Martin said, Donovan, have you learned the different languages from French to Swahili and to Swiss to German? That would be wonderful to meet you. I think you would be awesome in Paris. it would be nice, a nice show in there.
Oh, absolutely. Like I said, I'm going to be traveling as soon as I can. Everybody has their vices. I was not forgetting the stab, but because of the lifestyle that I lead, I know I had to do it because the other countries are not going to open up. But no, the language you need to learn in the world is either Chinese or Spanish. If you don't know those two dominant languages, you won't have a chance because that's the dominant cultures that is taking over the world.
Yeah, I mean, French sounds good. I mean, when I was in high school, I stupidly took French 1 and 2, and I only remember how to count. That's it. And a few other words. That's it. And I failed both of those classes, to tell you the truth, okay? And Sunlight says 18 to 35 is not the minimum. Yeah, I was about to say that's pretty damn good in some places. And ML, you say they won't even allow you to work in a warehouse if you test positive for pot, even though it's legal. This is a moot point. This will take our young people out of the workforce. Yeah, so it really is ridiculous at this point. Well, it's legal, but then you go to work and test, you out of a job. So you're right. And Jonelle says, right, Donovan, economics is why we were made slaves in the first place. The game remained the same. The chains of slavery has always been rooted in economics. We take charge of ours as a nation of blacks within this white nation. We're free and completely after the detox from the whitewash. And Moni, I'm getting there. Says, well, Donovan, at the moment, I'm not able to do anything this year and won't be able to do anything. I know for a fact next year because I don't have the financial resources. However, it's been a dream. You know what? You never know what is possible. Never say never. Things can change around overnight. You'd be surprised, but don't give up. You got 2 years is a long time to make a huge difference. So anything is possible. Just keep pushing. And Tasha, how you doing? You say, how did you find out that you were Nigerian blood? My brother actually took a 23andMe DNA test or something like that. We have the same parents, so I actually didn't take the DNA test, but he did, and he ran it back to me. So I said, thanks for saving me $200. I didn't have to do it, right? So yeah, that's how he found out, is through a DNA test. And Anonymous B, how you doing? He says, looking good. Oh, thank you. Jonelle says 5150 Corey Holcomb. Yeah, that's definitely what Donovan is. He is a 50-50. Well, I guess together we 50-50. Well, no, Donovan will be 51. He ain't 51 just yet. But when he is, let's change this to the 5150 club.
Yeah, exactly. May 9th.
Yeah, the next week. Not my daughter says next week he'll be 51. I have to send a stripper or something over to your house. I'm just kidding. Oh, and okay, we're getting out of here. Morning says, Donovan has been a dream of mine since I was 4 or 5 years old. Always wanted to go to Paris, to be able to go to Italy, to be able to go to Venezuela. I think I would love to go to Egypt. Me too. And
keep that dream.
Oh, my daughter says they real racist in Paris and Italy. So I've heard. And Militant, how you doing?
Yeah.
It says, I love your hair, Demetri. Thank you so much. And D-Lou, what's going on? You say another great show. See y'all again at 7. Yes, on the War Zone. We'll be there. And Moni said, going to be beautiful land takes money. He says, going to be a beautiful land takes money. So when I can spare a good 50 to 60,000, I think I would like to blow it on myself and just travel to see what it's like. I love beautiful brick homes. Oh, absolutely. You also say, so I like Michigan, and our homes cost way less in Texas or Florida. And in my view, a lot better built from what I've seen. Trust me, some of these houses in Texas, including the one I'm in, Lord have mercy. I be having repair people here all the time. Anyway, you say, and in my view, a lot better built from what I've seen. And it is not hot 365 days of the year. You have all 4 seasons. And Robin says, Donovan, was you scared getting the jab? And I'm going to read these comments. Yes. So tell us about it after this. I'm almost done. And then Moni says, Donovan, have you ever lived overseas? And so what country do you like? Demetri, if you have ever lived overseas, where would you choose and why? Every time I ask that person, it's healthcare. And Pammy says, I'm not learning any new language. To hell with that, me either. I'm too old to be trying to do that. And Georgia Rose, how you doing? He says, dang, 51. I know And Dallas, how you doing? He says, start building weapons and setting traps. Buy gas masks. We at war. Okay. And Militant says, your daughter is right. Laugh out loud talking about Paris. She says, I know. And Dr. No Job, how you doing? He says, I got my passport. I can't wait. until I travel to Africa. And Lone, how you doing? They say Mother's Day is your birthday. It says I have to be in Paris. You all will love it. Okay, so Donovan, how was it when you got the jab?
Yes, I was strapless. It hurts in the arm, whatever, but I didn't have any bad effects. Remember, because I was in the military a lot, so I got a lot of vaccines and shots in me, so it didn't affect me as bad. But it's done right now, and I took the one with the M one, not the Johnson one. Yeah, the Moderna. Yeah, I got the Moderna. As far as living overseas, yes, I lived overseas as a little kid. I was a military kid, so my parents lived mostly in Japan. But from living in Japan, I traveled all through Asia. I could tell you everything about Asia. Then when I joined the military, I was an aviator, so I ended up flying and traveling. Like you see people say, I want to be a fighter pilot, I want to be a bomber pilot. They don't travel. Transport pilots do that, C-17s, stuff like that, because we move cargo and people. So they gave me the opportunity to travel all around the world. The best place I've ever lived, I would say, is Panama. And I love Australia, but when I went to South Africa with Dimitri and I, had the time of my life there. So I would tell anybody, go to Johannesburg. Great shot to go there. And one of my dreams is to go to the Congo. And while we were there in Zimbabwe, Robert Mugabe had just died. I am actually a trillionaire in Zimbabwe because of the hyperinflation and stuff like that there. So that's another great place to go. And your American dollars goes far. So Africa, to me, is the place to go.
Yep. And Pam says, oh, man, Donovan got the jab. Oh, me, oh, my. Yeah, he felt like he had to do it so he can get out of here. I'm holding out, y'all. If it means me traveling, then I'll be right here in Texas. Hey, Leather and Luxury Cars, you caught us as we are getting out of here. So we thank y'all so much for being here on this extended version of Free Flow Friday with Donovan and Dimitri. We'll be back on the War Zone at 7 p.m. Central Time. It is also Free Flow Friday, so we talk about everything. We get a little bit crazier with Gary Monroe. You guys can check his channel out to the War Zone with the 5-star general on YouTube. And so thank y'all so much for being here, and Marcus, for everything you do behind the scenes. And I get this, and let's see, a lot of older folks retire in Panama. Yep, Pam. And Dallas, you say the Bible is a weapon of white supremacy. Jesus never existed. I'm not a sheep. I don't forgive my enemies. All right, now, Donovan, take us out of here.
I'm going to tell you guys, thank you guys for tuning in. Do not forget to tune in Sunday, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Do the math, whatever time zone you're in. The Dimitri K Show, we're going to be talking about a lot of stuff and recapping again. And do not forget to check out Dimitri K. She is on the African Diaspora News Channel as well as the Insider. She drops a lot of great dimes. The great thing about Dimitri's videos, they're no longer than 5 to 7 minutes at the most, which is great. And it's a lot of information in that time. Again, do not forget to check us out. I will be on the couch today because I am just done on the War Zone. So we'll see you guys then. Love the conversation. Keep it up. Please like, share, and don't forget to subscribe.